Welcome everybody here. Let's see. We got some people in the chat already, which is great. Wow, we got a lot of chat going on. We missed a lot of stuff going on here. So we got Michelle D. I'm a comic book guy, so I vote for October Guard, Billy, and Bongo the Bear. Those are all good. Will Scorpio, Operative D. Let's see. Mike Gould. Hello. Where is our good friend too? Oh, no. Okay, we got G.I. Joe 66 Delta. Yeah, we got Melted Copper, of course.
Did you ever do the 1984 or 1985 for him?
We got Seth Manhammer, Billy Butch, Antonio. Thank you for joining us. Great. All right. So we're here to talk about. I feel like that would be a good topic to talk about what's left, and in addition to what's going on, what do you think is going to happen Wednesday? Because obviously Wednesday we got the big drop. So we have the Hasbro Pulse Con. So hopefully they're going to drop something interesting.
I mean, I'm hoping to see the Destro and the Despoiler in hand. That's what I'm really hoping for. I'd love to see that. Also, the mind-boggling choices on the retro wave that's coming, like that new Techno Viper, right? Like, I love the original mainline Techno Viper. It's one of the most, I think, probably the most underrated figure of the classified line. But when I at first, when I see that they're making one, it's like, what are you going to change that's going to make it look better? And then I thought, well, I said the same thing about the Retro Viper and the Retro Bat. And when they came, I was like, oh, okay. It's not exactly, I like the other ones, but these are also very cool looking figures. So I think it might have been RA Rayne that actually said in a text message, he was like, oh, I'm just going to get one and make him the leader of my other Techno Vipers. And I was like, aha, score.
Paul Morales is here to call out everybody here. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you in the text, because
Paul, what's up, brother? My dude, Dreadnought Ellis.
No, I said I wanted to do it as a
what?
Lagging like hell.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I was like,
weird. It didn't look like you were lagging. It looked like you had a brain fart.
A little technical issues here today, folks.
Just had your,
Well, at least it's like positive.
No, I don't know if it's me lagging. Spectrum's doing an upgrade in our area.
Oh, great. Those fuckers.
No, Spectrum's doing an upgrade in our area, so it's supposed to be improving it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, all I noticed is like when they you were saying about the Techno Viper, like I had that one at the top of my list of ones we don't need a retro for because it was just fine the way it is. But you're right, 100%. if they do the different colors, like where you can tell it's a brighter, like more of the old school, like over the top purple versus like royal purple kind of stuff. I can see that's going to work, and it does. Like if you look at it, it does look somewhat different. Even like, so I know the color scheme's going to be different. Like you're right, that's going to be one. You get it in hand, you're like, oh, I get it now. It's like you're saying with the Viper. Once you had that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. The colors pop more. Like I don't know, it's like more old school, less because I always try to make it a little bit more realistic. Though I don't know how you make purple realistic, but
yeah, you can make purple
like realistic. Retro could just be like, yeah, we're gonna. I mean, that's why I can't wait for the retro blowtorch. We finally get like true ketchup and mustard.
Right?
You can do it for everything. You can do it for the what is the ramp rats? You can do it for the freaking divers, but no, you can't do it for blowtorch.
Right.
2027 money.
I gotta say, man, it's been a bore fest the last with the exception of the Iron Grenadier Destro, it has just been the world's most boring ass freaking drops.
And the Duke.
Which other Duke? Yeah, the Duke that everyone was like, good with that. And you're like, nah, I think it's actually kind of cool that it's sold out like instantly. Like, yeah. Right.
Well, listen, if we're talking about duds, I'm gonna do a review that I'm gonna put up on YouTube. But you guys know me. I love everything, right? For the most part, I have a hard time finding.
If I could get 20 of them, you only a little of it a little.
Yeah,
exactly.
I do not love everything. I am not a person who loves everything by any means.
I mean, so when I saw that Special Forces figure, and I was like, I think I did say, I was like, I want 20 of those. They look amazing, and I got it. And I saw one in Walmart. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I grabbed it. And then later that day, it popped. This was just the other day. So it popped up to order. And so I ordered 2 more. But when I was opening that figure that night, I had already decided that when the other 2 came, I'm returning one because it's incredibly underwhelming for the money. Like really shockingly underwhelming.
So is it because so I did the one Walmart's like it'll be there tomorrow. That was last week,
Mm.
and it's still sitting in Texas. And I'm like, that's never gonna get here. Like that. The thing is, like the Halo one. When I got that one, like he totally changed. He was awesome in hand, but looked kind of meh. Like that's where I'm like. So you're saying this when he got it in hand, he was just kind of like meh.
Listen, there was a few things that stood out. Like I don't think you'll be able to see it as much, but one thing that jumped in my eye is so on the boot, right? There is the texture. When you look at the upper part of the boot, there is like lots of wrinkles and detail and stuff like that. But then when you get to the actual bottom part, it almost looks like he's wearing a dress shoe clog. And then there's a sock.
Orthotics, you know?
Right. You know what I mean? So he's got clogs on with some kind of weird ass sock coming out of the top. It's really eye catching. Like, holy shit. And I didn't even have my glasses on. Also, they have this. Somebody pointed out to me that some figures, the camo doesn't go all the way around. There's like a stripe of nothing. And it's on that side, it's on this side, and then on the inside. It's as if they can only spray it on its back and then turn it over, and that, you know what I mean? Like, and really, now here's the problem, real quick. The real problem is this: Monster Force exists for that same money, and so when I look at this and I look at this, I go, I'm returning one of my 3 and getting another one of these. That's real, like, because dude, look at how I'm so in love with these figures. The detail in the loadout, you can switch this stuff around and it actually stays in place. So as soon as I took this out of the box, this pouch that was this pouch that fell off immediately, and I've not even warming it up. I cannot. It's wet. It's so within the range of motion of the arm that you can't do anything without knocking it off. It's infuriating.
He does that too.
Here. He's just saying, just not a very Destro Designs, not very talkative. No, not at all.
No. Some people should say I should definitely come out of my shell a little more.
I honestly, we talked about this figure before I even saw mine, Michael. We talked about it on Saturday or Sunday about what your likes and dislikes. And I actually, when I got it in hand yesterday, when I got home, I didn't mind it as much. Would I want to get another one for the same price? No. If I found it cheaper, I'd pick it up. But using those extra accessories, you can make up a whole squadron of them with him, and hit and run, shooter, and even like the 60th anniversary sniper and the Halo jumper. You can make up your own. I'm naming them Phantom Squad because they all have the Ghost logo with it. So I figure
that's cool.
He's not a bad figure, but he's not my top 10. Not even probably my top 15 figures.
So I feel bad. I don't have mine yet. You were showing yours off. I'm like, I
got him. Yeah, I just unboxed him, so I haven't really. But he looks all right to me.
Was that Laser Pants that said that? Laser Pants, what's up, brother? That's fine.
But you're right about that pouch. That pouch does pop off real easy.
Yeah. A lot of people saying about the leaks. Here we go. Yeah, I get the X-Files Deep Throat hookup. Yep. So yeah, basically almost all of it's come true here, right?
Yeah.
There's only a handful. There's only maybe 3 or 4 things that are not official yet. I can tell you that the Dusty and Sandstorm is 100% going to happen. That's like
that's coming. Yeah,
that's definitely happening. That's coming. That was another one that was a definite yes. But if we look at the list, so you put together a list there, Destro, right? So everything that was predicted in the
so first on the list. Now this I guess we ultimately won't know until the year is over, more or less. But one of the things that I think we all want and we keep hearing more about is the water moccasin and coming with a gunner. Right. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing. And I don't know about anybody else, but it's almost like every time I talk to somebody, it's people are either saying, yes, we're definitely getting it. And then there's a group of people that are like, that's not coming. And I know it's not coming. I'm like, okay.
Thanks, Laser Pants. $10. Says, yeah, you get Alex Jones on your stream tonight.
I had to actually ban that on my channel because I got it so many times.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
That's
man.
funny.
I lost weight. I was like, I didn't look less like him. Like,
I think you and I are just gonna be going for twins, man.
I know, yeah.
It's
hard being this good
looking.
looking.
You guys are talking about,
I could take my hair down and look like RA.
That's true. That's a good point. You guys
I got enough hair for the both of you.
Yeah,
definitely.
So does Destro. Under there, he's got a freaking like metal mane.
There we go.
Man.
Look at this.
That's like a jungle, man. Dang. Even when I had it was never that thick. It's like
it's funny because on one side of the screen you got all the hair,
right?
On the other side of the screen you don't.
Oh yeah, I already noticed that earlier. I publicly challenged people notice that and sit there and envy.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick funny story. This was such a great example set by my mother. So I always wanted long hair. So when I was a teenager, I had it long. I think I was 15. I think I was about 15 when this happened. Well, one night, so even after I stopped playing Pop Warner, I was a junior coach. So one night, I wound up staying out with some people after. There was like one of the older coaches, and I just assumed it was cool because we were with coaches, but it wasn't. I stayed out all night. I went home at like, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And my mother was like, where the fuck have you been? And I told her, I was honest, like I was with the coach. I didn't think it was a big deal. And anyways, this is what my mother says to me. She goes, your father has already left for work. He thought you were in your bed sleeping. If you cut your hair, I will not tell him. But if you don't, I will tell him, and you will be grounded the rest of the summer. Bro, school just ended. And I was like, fine. And she shaved it like right down, like a total buzz cut. And that's like one of the last haircuts I ever got.
That is so funny because I actually have a similar story. I stayed out all night to get Metallica tickets, and I wasn't supposed to. My mom caught me. She made me cut my hair off as punishment. So I ended up going to the Metallica concert with short hair. And up until then, my hair was always long. And when I joined the Marine Corps, I had to get a buzz cut. And I think that was when I got out was the last time I cut my hair.
Nice. My brother Big Red calls me says I have triple H hair, which is funny because a lot of my friends I grew up with, Triple H was 100%. They called me that often because it does curl up a little if I just leave it out. So very funny.
Now he's bald, so you know.
I mean, is he? As a scientist, I believe G.I. Joe causes 3 out of 4 men to go bald. Very nice.
Nice.
I see a correlation here.
Yeah.
Hey, now your predictions, or that list that you had earlier on, man, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was pretty spot on. It wasn't a prediction. It was just like some random dude who was, I think we all know who it is now. But
really, I don't have a clue.
Okay.
You'll have to tell me.
Laser Pants knows who it is.
And nice. I can totally see Water Moccasin coming with a female gunner.
Yeah. Well, the second
he's a regular on the 3POA in the chat. Anyway, in the chat.
No doubt. That's what's up. Okay, maybe I can figure that out then. Great show. The Wednesday throwdown that they do.
I'll give you a hint on who it is. It's the guy that fucking Diaper Island said it was. That's basically.
It's fun. Okay, no doubt. Yeah, shout out to that show. That's good. It's every Wednesday I toss that on. I usually Wednesday nights I'm usually in the shop doing a cleanup, and that's usually what I'm watching. A couple good guys that go on there. It's good. Number 2 on that list was they called out the retro card back that was coming was Wild Bill. So boom, that was correct. Now he also was Firefly on that list, which is very interesting to see what happens there. Because at this point, we know most of this list is really true. Like we're staring down the barrel of them all winding up being right, basically. And
I can totally see Firefly being retro. I mean, that's just like a no-brainer.
Yeah, because it's one of those figures you want to always have your main guys out.
It's already basically a retro, though. That's what my thing is. Like, you keep giving it. Why do we need 3 Fireflies that are not exactly the same, but
pretty damn close?
I mean, well,
I think one of the things. Sorry. I think one of the things with the retro is they want to give you a figure if you didn't get it.
Right. That too. Right. Well,
Firefly is a character that you'd want, and you should be able to get, at some point.
I mean, it's a retro Snake Eyes. Everything. Or another version 1 Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
The retros seem to be like what they're doing with the Black Series Star Wars figures with the archive collection. You know, every once in a while they'll put them out when there's been a big enough space between when the last figure came out of that series or that person, and then they'll put out another one just so that way they can attract new collectors or new people or kids, or whatever you want to call them. We're all kids,
right here.
For sure.
So I think the big ones that prove he knew something was the shield.
Oh yeah,
the shield on Destro. Nobody would have guessed it was a shield. You know,
no,
I would have pulled that one. Oh, he did say the sword was going to go in the shield, which would have been a
he
cool.
did. I think it does though, right? It definitely will. Well, let's see. Hopefully, we find out on Wednesday.
It's hard to tell with the renders.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like, I'm hoping the renders. It's funny how sometimes the renders do not do justice to some of the figures.
Yes, I totally agree.
It's like totally different. I'm trying to think of a good example. There was one that was just like straight trash. It's like some looked straight trash, and I got like, whoa, this is actually really good.
Right, right.
That's one of those things. That's why, like the Mole Rat, I was like, I don't know, Mole Rat 2. I picked it up. I was like, I'm never going to get this. I'm like, Walmart finally had Joe's. So I'm like, the two that were there, Big Lob and Mole Rat.
Right.
So I'm going to open that one up to see what it's like.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the renders are done before the mock-ups and the models are in place and the molds are even created, right?
I think so.
Well, by the time I think that's the ideal way. But like, you know, if we just saw the Destro Despoiler last week, if they have it in hand on Wednesday, then that means that it is, you know, who knows when they made the render, but they just showed it to us. And I feel like
they just showed one of the first prototypes of the Snowcat. It was still in its orange mold or in the orange print.
Right.
And I know that at Comic-Con a few years ago when they brought, I think it was the Hiss Tank or the Dragonfly, it was only a 3D resin print, so you couldn't even touch it because it was so fragile.
I remember that. They even said that on their thing, like, "Hey, don't shake the thing."
Right.
Yeah,
well, the Snowcat that they showed for the reveal and everything last year, I think that's what it was. It was a mock-up largely.
It was.
Yeah.
The one that they had at Comic-Con last year, it was complete. It was just a 3D printed model, and then they had painted it.
Yeah. Well, that would be something that would also be very awesome to have happen on Wednesday. Is show us something, give us some news. Like it was this time last year, we started seeing the Rattler. About the
news. It won't be the HasLab, but it'll be. They'll give us something.
Have you noticed that Hasbro hasn't done a HasLab recently? You know, usually when one is filled, they're starting a new one. And there hasn't been one for any of the properties right now. The last one they had, I think, was for Tron, and it failed.
Oh, it failed miserably.
A lot of them failed. The Star Wars one was a flop.
Yeah.
It was like the gunnership.
The gunship, it was the Clone Wars gunship.
I feel like it maybe went through, but it wasn't with big numbers.
I think that went through at the very end.
Huge, like I think it did make it there, but like they're not getting all the tiers. It's not getting through that everyone's really excited about. So it's almost causing a negative effect. Therefore, hey, if I've had 3, because like let's be honest, Snowcat didn't do as good as they would hoped. Then you had that gunship, and then the Tron totally tanks. That's one of those like, hey, we need to step back. Like once, okay, remember, 2's a coincidence. 3, we got a problem. So
but see, I'm also wondering with the tariffs, with the prices of everything going up, especially oil prices going up now, they may not be able to. They may not do one this year.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think the one thing is, which is kind of annoying, is the fact that when you look at it, it's like the only HasLabs that do really well seem to be the G.I. Joe ones. Yet we get the least attention. Here we go. Will Scorpio says we should get a 2-pack from Retaliation. Now, if you were to do, I don't really care about a Roadblock The Rock personally, but a Firefly Ray Stevenson would be awesome.
I think if you're going to do a 2-pack of the Retaliation, you're going to have to do Roadblock and you're going to have to do Colton. Because especially with Bruce Willis in his shape he's in now, you honor him with the one.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah,
and then if you're going to do a Cobra one, you do Cobra Commander and maybe Zartan or Storm Shadow.
There you go.
I would go for that Cobra Commander. It was actually a decent design.
Yeah.
That one.
That was a really good look. I like that.
Yeah. It's Tron failed. Yeah, how can it consistently? Yeah, everything Tron fails all consistently. Everything Tron, you can love it. I love.
It wasn't even that popular back when we were a kid. The freaking video game.
The problem was it had nothing to do with the new movie.
Yeah.
And the movie itself was a bomb. So no one cared about Tron right now.
Yeah.
Now, if they would have done it where they kind of tied it into the ride that's at Disney World, it might have done a little bit better, but it's Tron. It's going to be one of those hard sells. It's like if you did an Indiana Jones one. It's not going to do that well with the mainstream audience.
Yeah.
Right. No doubt. Another one on the list that was totally correct was Zanya and the Swamp Buggy.
Yep.
Totally on the money. Can't go wrong there. We did talk about the Velociraptor. I think just either when we came on or before we came on, we had the harness that basically the leak was the harness that they were showing at that whatever it was that they were showing it off the stream or whatever.
Comic-Con, wasn't it? It was either New York. It was either New York Comic-Con or over in London Comic-Con.
Yeah, Dave, you said that.
I thought it was going to be the Night Adder. It was the guy, the Cobra, who has a dog.
I called it the first time I saw that harness. I knew it was coming. I mean, I didn't know it was coming, but I knew it was coming.
Nice.
I mean, like I didn't have an official word that it was coming, but I just, it's one of those things where you kind of knew, I mean, I've said it on here before, talking to Lenny, I knew he really wanted to do a dinosaur. And I mean,
and you're the only person who would guess that though, because you would have to have a conversation with him.
Right.
Find that, because there's like, I think other people got leaks but didn't spread the news for some reason. Maybe they have like, I don't know. The person who sent it to them said don't share it, but my leaks were like, yeah, share it. So I'm not like, I don't give a shit. I don't have respect for Hasbro.
Back in the original run, in the original run, they had talked about doing a Dino Force. And they had this whole thing set up where they were going to do time traveling and they were going to get the dinosaurs, and it never came about. I think one reason it didn't come about was because they ended up getting the Jurassic Park license for a while, and they were able to, and they started making dinosaur toys. So that just kind of took over from what they were going to do with the Dino Squad or Dino Force or whatever they're going to call it.
This is they just did that one sad ass like the world's shittiest dinosaur. But I love that I'm an old man listening to 4 other old men talking about toys in my magic box. Very nice. Like that.
It's true. Yeah, Big Red and everybody in the chat basically all echoing the sentiment of like, whoever liked Tron, like how are they still trying to push this on us with these movies?
I did, but
I love Tron, and I'll be honest. I went back and I just watched the new movie on Disney Plus, and I was actually surprised how much I liked it. Because Jared Leto is one of those guys as an actor I can take or leave.
Yeah, I don't like him.
But I really enjoyed this one, and I was surprised.
I'm
a leave. Sorry, what are you saying?
No, it's fine. I saw on the plane like 2 weeks ago, so it was okay. I mean, I was not going to the movie theater, but I can when I'm sitting on the plane, I can watch it. It was fun.
See, and that's just it. Since I have the service, but I wasn't going to go out and spend the extra money in the theater to watch it, and that and that's sad because when I was growing up, I loved Tron.
Yeah,
I mean, that was like one of my top maybe 5 properties I liked.
Did you have the figures?
No. Actually, I did back then. Nowadays, I didn't even order the one for the HasLab.
You wouldn't have got it anyway. So
that's true.
Yeah,
the
2010 movie was solid.
Laser Pan says, never liked Tron, but the 2010 movie was pretty good. That's where I'm at with it. I saw that and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. The whole idea that he found the thing in his dad's and it sucked him in and whatever. Oh, spoiler alert. But that's how it gets there.
There's ties into that too in this one, but it's bringing Tron, bringing the idea to the real world and, where we are with AI and things like that. It's, and 3D printing and everything is all involved in it. It's okay to watch, but it's not something you're going to seek out unless you happen to be right there with it.
Right.
We got another comment. Hey, Destro, I'm off work due to surgery. Spent first 30 days watching your videos. It's ranking. Yeah, that'll take a few days. Yeah, at this point, I'm almost done. I got 94 and 82 to do. I'm going to redo 82 because I only did the figures, and I'm going to do 94, and then I'm done. Bizarrely enough, but thanks for watching. Yeah. I had the Tron toys. I have the figures. I think I still have them somewhere. Probably they're mixed in with my Star Wars because there was so few of them. You got there was literally I think 4. I think there might have been 4 figures total.
Yeah,
the original
and they had 2 light cycles. They had 4 figures, and then I think didn't they have the disc that you could get?
Oh, could you throw like a frisbee? That's
yeah,
frisbee, man. That's like that would be a really lame toy.
That's when your parents like, we've got Tron discs at home, pal.
That's as bad as the freaking Rattler patches. Come on, holy shit!
Hey, those Rattler patches, I have them on a flight or on a jacket.
I bet and I'm sure it looks actually awesome. They are nice patches, but I would rather have.
I would rather have not.
Right. I mean, so I got lucky. My brother Dan Salcedo gave me the Rattler, and then so check this out. This gentleman from the Joe community who I've become very good friends with.
Like, screw the Tron shit. Let's talk about Joe. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, right.
People came for what they wanted in there.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that'll go up on Wednesday. It'll be the mustard and ketchup flight deck crew.
Oh, maybe.
Well, at least going to be in hand. You can't have that many You can't. I don't think on set, but they can't have that many pictures and not have at least go, "Hey, we're going to show what's coming." Though I will say, "Ooh, you gave me a box, like 2 figures and a box."
Yeah. And they're basically manual laborers. They're just like it's like
that should have been the tier for the Rattler.
Viper. You know, it's like
right. Well,
that should have been the patch tier for the Rattler.
What you want to watch out for? My brother Chris from Sis 3D Arsenal. I think Mark. I think you have some of that. He makes submission crates and all that stuff. Yeah. And honestly, it looks.
Hello.
That Rampart. What's up, kiddo? How are you?
This is Scarlett, as you might know.
Scarlett, good to see you again.
Her birthday.
Hi, Scarlett.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Woo! Happy birthday! How old are you?
April 1st. Wow. Happy birthday.
9. Yeah, she's gonna be 9, and she's getting her crossbow. So
nice. I love it. I love it.
At 9, I got it's the great age to start learning.
Yeah, you gotta learn.
Agreed.
All right, you gotta start young.
Agreed. Boys with a crossbow if they come near you.
They're annoying me out.
Hey, I got my daughter a bow and arrow set, so
you could give me like a toy one.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love it.
You gotta get one with explosive attachments. Yes,
crossbows are bad. They're bad at they're cool.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy.
This week in Hearthstone says Destro Designs with his hair down is giving me Cameron Poe vibes. That's the Con Air guy. that's pretty close. Pretty close.
That was peak Nick Cage right there. The Rock and then Con Air. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, definitely. 8mm is another good one too. That you don't hear too much, but that was pretty decent flick. He was good in that.
Yeah. Yep. So people say hello, Scarlett.
Hello.
It's not a show without a cameo from you. Here we go.
Nice. Dreadnought, my brother Dreadnought E, my boy Ellis, says, just please give me the Thunder Machine. Well, the good news is that the Thunder Machine is on the list. So with the way that the list is going, it's almost like we're gonna get it. Like something that there's 2 things that we know are coming now that I remember at the time being excited for. One was they said a new 3-pack Arctic Strike Team. And we basically got it. Now, I think it sounded a little more like they were going to all maybe be Cobras a la the Hiss fire team. But then again, here it is, And I think he said that he sees the packaging and that's how he knew what it was. So I guess when you're looking at that,
I thought they showed us a rendering of them.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. It's
it is all Cobra.
No, it's
steel core. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I bought an extra big pen just to get his head, so I could put it on the Arctic body, so I can have my own Big Ben version 2.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's all it is.
All
right, let's do this, folks.
Yeah,
let us begin the list of our most wanted, and then
Melted Carpet says, "Run, child. G.I. Joe's gonna make you go bald." So, all right.
You don't need that, sweetie.
All right, let's do it. So all right. So I limited us to 7 each because I think it would take too long if we do more than that. So
Okay.
I think 7's going to take us about midnight, but that's fine.
I know. And in the chat, feel free. I heard a bunch now already. I heard Mara and Raven. I saw all kinds of ideas.
Mara should be like, when the Moria Hydrofoil HasLab comes, she should be like tier 1, tier 2, right there.
Right. Oh yes. Nope.
Yeah, I could see her as I could totally see her as a tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think she's special enough that it makes it a special thing, and she's not popular enough to justify an actual classified figure. Like that's one of the things you have to see. It's like, hey, how do we pop that in? Like that's why I always felt like Steeler or Short Fuse, like Short Fuse would have been one of the ones they just threw in with like a Mauler or something. You're like, hey, here you go. You know, give people.
Well, as much as many people were having trouble with Zanya and not, this figure that they had no idea about, they didn't care about, they had to put her with something that would appeal to people, the mainstream people, to pick her up.
Yeah.
And to justify, a figure of her size, and because she's not going to have the loadout that you're going to have with some of the other Joes. So you have to give her something that's going to make people want to buy it. That's why you put her with the Chameleon. Yeah. Mara is another one that most people are not going to know her unless they've watched the cartoons.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not going to, and most people that watch the cartoons are not going to care about them unless they're really a diehard Joe fan.
Yeah.
So she's one that you're either going to put in a 2-pack with Shipwreck in another outfit, or you put her in a tier on something, or you put her in a as a secondary figure on a night a night ship or the night raft or something.
Yeah.
A lot of times though, it seems like people are buying everything, right? So, but I guess I don't really know what the sales figures are, but it feels to me like even the shit that you think wouldn't sell is like selling out every time. It's like I thought that Night Dire Viper bullshit with the Night Creeper Dire tech thing was gonna be a shelf.
I think anything with that green, that clear green, it's going to sell. But remember, Retro Cobra Commander is as a peg warmer, and that's one that everybody wanted.
And it's awesome. Like I still see it.
So awesome.
I should buy another one. Just so maybe if they see they're all gone, they'll finally buy something else.
I just got this to go on my retro.
One.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to prop this on. This is from the Big Bad Toy Store Soldier of Fortune. They have a dude in the suit that inexplicably just comes with this. And it's pretty dope. I haven't popped it on yet.
Michael, the peg is the hole for his head is too big, but if you use hot glue, you can fill up the hole and pop it onto the figure and twist it, and it works.
Perfect. Sounds good. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to have that. I just got from Sis 3D Arsenal, I just got a Cobra podium for him to stand at. So I'm going to be doing that. And look, I printed these out. I'm making a big, huge thing. It's going to be a giant wall. He's going to be standing in front of this. Which red do you guys like better? The deep maroon or the true?
Your left hand by far.
Nice. Yeah, the brighter.
Nice. That's your Python Patrol. Your right hand's Python Patrol. Your left hand is the normal.
Yeah. You're right. But yeah, there we go. Dude, the Cricket. I've been upgrading my dial. I bought new lights for the dial shots. I got the 3D printer up and running again. And I just bought 4 sheets of that 1-inch thick foam. It's 4x8 that I can cut up into different dial walls. I'm really trying to upgrade so I can quickly set things up and do shots without like having to build an entire set every time. This way I can just slap a few walls together. Here's the lights and boom, time for shooting.
All right, let's get to it. So everybody picked, actually you all picked like many vehicles. So I'm just going to have you pick one right now, put the pressure on. We'll go in, let's see.
Follicle order. So the longest hair goes with hair, then goes around.
That works. Yeah, you got a little point.
I grew my beard longer, so
so I'll go last. All right, so RA, you want to start? You had to pick one vehicle that you
Thunder Machine. I mean, I know that's almost a given. That one is almost guaranteed to come. That is coming.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with the safe bit.
I'm hoping
they didn't have it last year because all the stuff they did with Cold Slither, everything Dreadnought, like that would have been like the cherry on top kind of thing. Like boom.
I agree.
This is another one I spent a lot of time talking to Lenny and Tony about, and we're talking if it should be a HasLab or if it should be a mainline. They said it would never be a HasLab because it's small enough to fit in the retail shelving space that they have allotted to them. Yeah. So it will definitely be a mainline release,
which I think is cool.
This is something that they've been planning, that they're wanting to do. Like, so it's almost
a
given.
No-brainer, man. So I think.
How many times has Lenny talked about it? I mean, like it comes up so much. I'm like,
that's
like at work. They're working on it. Maybe it's not this year, but it's coming because
the only thing I hope they do is I hope they put Heart Wrencher and Thrasher with it.
Well, according to my source,
needs to come with something.
Yeah, Heart Wrencher was one of the ones that was predicted, and it was like, but it was a confused statement. He said she came with something. Now that could be two things. One, she originally came with the Stinger repainted in Dreadnought colors. So that's how she was originally introduced. They love repainting shit. I could totally see them doing a repaint of the Stinger, which didn't sell very well.
Right. Personally, I'd love to see her to put it with a motorcycle.
That's what I figured she was going to do with.
Yeah.
The trike thing.
No, not even the trike thing. Just put her with a straight up Harley looking, Ghost Rider looking motorcycle.
I think people bought as many as people have bought like the third party stuff. I could see it because like I'm like the kind of one like I'll get a Valorous, but I'm like, dude, I want to get the Hasbro stuff. I know it all fits. Like,
because if you're gonna do the trike, you got to put Storm Chaser with it. Because Storm Chaser is the one who came with it with the 40th or 50th anniversary stuff.
Oh, that's
there was that lame trike that they made in the 80s.
And then that one they could do, but then they upgraded it with it was like the 25th or it was one of those anniversary series, that they put out, and because he has the mask that comes down, and he kind of he has that almost looks like Grifter from DC or from McFarlane stuff.
He's so cool. He would be a great figure. He's got a nail gun. He's an awesome figure, man. I would love. They got to come up with him eventually. And that bike was great because it had the like blades that popped down and the cannons.
It had cannons. It had all kinds of weaponry on it.
That was really good.
Was that the
Doom Cycle? Big Red? Thank you, brother.
The Doom Cycle,
coming soon.
Okay, I hadn't seen that. That's cool.
It's really good. I have one. It's good. All right. So what do you? Oh, here's a good idea. A good question too. All right, we'll go around. Destro, what's your
man, that's
vehicle wise.
I mean, I'd have to probably go with the Havoc. I could definitely right below it is like the Ice Wolf, the Asp, or the Bridge Layer. But if I got to pick one, it's got to be the Havoc. The Havoc was arguably one of my favorite things. I used to carry that thing around under my arm like a football. It was something about. I was a sucker for the vehicles where you could lay down in the cockpit for whatever reason. I thought it just like the Recon sled, the original version of the Shark, and not only were you laying down, you had two guys in there. They were each controlling that little movable cannon in the front. And then you had, totally throwing caution to the wind, a mounted cross country right up on top. Here we go, boys. You can see better from up here.
That would be really big, though.
That would be a HasLab. That'd have to be a HasLab.
It'd have to be a HasLab. And I was so upset when we heard they started talking about how they were like, yeah, we settled on the Snowcat, but the Havoc also tested really well in the focus groups that they did. And I was like, no, we were that close.
I feel like the Havoc was like the last of the big vehicles that the early collectors like really dug. And that's when they started to go. And I know there's other really good big vehicles, but that was kind of like with a big push when it was like G.I. Joe everything. That was their last big vehicle before it was like we became like a second tier toy and other things were kind of coming in. So
I think some people don't like it because it's too weird, but I think it's one of those things that it says G.I. Joe. Yeah. And it's just like the most like G.I. Joe thing ever. It's like G.I. Joe Delta says Castle Grayskull was huge. You know what? Castle Grayskull, here's the thing, honestly. If you look at what Mattel does for their fans, we get screwed price-wise. because they'll do huge shit. So I just got this there. I just got this, which is the Origins Castle Grayskull, and it was retail. It was retail like $7,500, and I got it for $75.
That'd be like $300 in the Joe land.
300.
Well,
easy.
a lot of it also has to deal with
HasLab too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it has to deal with where they're getting them made from, what the shipping costs, the materials that are being used. I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's all semantics, really, but it's one of those things where you can if they're manufacturing them in Mexico, they're going to be a lot cheaper than they are if they're coming from China. It's
Right.
like I think with Marvel Legends, they have manufacturing plants in Mexico and in China. Mexico not only get here, they're, in my opinion, they're made better. They don't fall apart as easy. They come quicker. But it's one of those things where that's none of our control. When we can sit here and argue about it all day long, and
it ain't gonna make a difference.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Now, this guy, you get the Havoc, but I hope to make it possible to switch between laying down and seated. That's a great thing they do with the HasLabs is they give you a detail. So I would think like that cockpit, you could very easily add like an armored piece to that cockpit on the top.
Right.
That would make more sense. Then you can like remove it if you want the retro look. Just because they did that with the Hiss, they put on like some armor on the tank treads, which was good.
Right.
That, but
that's awesome.
But all right, what about you, YoJoe Reviews?
For me, the big one will be the Moray, the
hell yeah,
hydrophobic. That's a hassle, so I'm not gonna like pray. I was like, I'll just take a devilfish. Just nice little devilfish to go around.
Yeah,
it's my favorite. I can go and get in the bathtub and just go. It might fit in the bathtub with me now. Who knows? But that was one. I just loved that as a kid. And my parents had this gray carpet, like the old thick. It wasn't quite shag. It was like just under shag. And so it was like it was going in the water. So they'd leave like tracks. Like that was my go-to when I was a kid. That was my.
So you could do a 2-pack.
I love that 3-1 there. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
my brother.
You could do a 2-pack of the Devilfish and the Cobra landing craft.
Yeah,
and you don't even need to put a pilot in with those, and it would sell.
Right. Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I love because you knocked out $20 off the price.
Right. Yeah. I love that hydro sled. I thought that silly little thing was cool as hell.
I used to play them all the time.
Definitely awesome stuff. I love that thing.
What about you, Destro? Is my spirit animal? Mark, what's your?
I'm gonna go. This is the one. Size-wise, there's no reason they don't make it. It's so small, so easy, and it was always one of my favorites. It's such a weird little vehicle,
A great one.
I can totally see that coming, especially if they're following their own pattern. So right now it seems like we're doing snow, with the Snowcat, with the Hiss coming out, and the 3-pack. If they do water next, we should definitely be seeing the Shark, maybe the Hydrofoil as the HasLab, and then we'll get the Devilfish and whatever else.
Yeah. All right, Jabba Wookie, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Another one that I think could really work is if you did like either the Mauler or the Mobat, you could use the base of that not only for the Mauler, the Mobat, but you could also use it for the bridge layer and for the Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use that body, use like half that mold for 4 different vehicles.
Yeah, well, you can. Yeah, Ramen made basically that.
Every time I hear Ramen, I just think the damn noodles. That's like I never remember their name. Like, no, that's the noodle people.
Devilfish, Skyhawk, Slaughtered. Yeah, the Triple T. Yeah, those are all.
The Skyhawk seems like it's the Skyhawk seems like it's a no-brainer too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right.
All right.
Happy Trade Doctor in the house. What's up, brother?
Oh yeah. All right. Let me throw one more question out at you before we get to the figure part. Is predictions. What do you predict we're going to see Wednesday in the chat? You can play along too. What are you predicting? RA, you got a prediction for what we're going to see on Wednesday?
I'm just going to throw it out there. I think we're going to get the Thunder Machine announcement.
Yeah. Me
okay.
Too. Nice.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
I'll take that for $1.
I mean, think about it. We've gotten a lot of Dreadnought stuff, and here's something. Gus just announced Zartan from Cold Slither just put up that he is ordering new guitar picks for Cold Slither. That there is most likely going to be another Cold Slither concert at San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Oh, nice.
So if you have Cold Slither there, you might. There's more than likely more Dreadnoughts coming.
Yeah,
because if they announce it now or tease it now, that's the vehicle, like have the All Striker that we had in YoJoe June you could order, because you have to play that. Like I'm putting together a video where I'm like, here's what I would do as a marketing person to get the stuff rolled out, and you have the July announcement for the HasLab, but you got to have the vehicle in there to make it the higher price point thing. Like that's what I think would be a good thing to do. So yeah. What about you, Michael? What's your pick for?
So this is purely. I almost have no reason to think that I'm purely making this up, and I would love it to happen. When they're going to give us new images of the Snowcat, they're going to give us Snowcat news and announce Blizzard. That's what I want. I want that in the worst way.
Nice.
Do I think it's going to happen? I think there's a slim chance. Like a lot of the figures that are actually on my list are ones that would all have to be like deluxe figures. And I don't know. I want to see Blizzard this year to go with all this stuff.
They do have multiple. There's a lot of deluxe they have listed that haven't been announced yet. And so that's what gives me the blood. I feel like Blizzard has to come this year just for the Arctic stuff. Because I don't think, could be a Stalker that's to be, with his kayak thing. Which
would be cool. It would be cool for sure, but I really want that. Blizzard is an all-timer for me. I love that figure as a kid, so that's what I would really like to see, and I do think it's possible.
Yeah,
albeit slightly.
I know for me, for reveals, renders. I think we're just going to get what we have. I think pre-orders, we already know what those are going to be. The Destro and then those the 3 cards. Usually there's like a 5th thing, maybe, but because that's like a wave. So maybe, but I don't know. For I wish it would be there, but it's not going to be there. Is Mr. Flash? We'll talk about that later. If we're dreaming, but I don't think
that could be one of the deluxe, because you could do Flash with the launch pad.
Right.
Yeah. Because I always did him with that, not Grand Slam, because when from the original one, when they had the silver one, they did that. But that's what I'd like. But I think since we just got the retro grunt and we've got Zap already coming, I don't know because if you notice, it's 2 or 3 OG 13s every year, so I think it's too close. That might be that we have an announcement like in Brazil, like we have this coming for like that last wave or something.
Do you guys like the fact that they've spread out the original 13?
No,
because I kind of you don't. No. I kind of like that they've done it because it's keeping us waiting enough where. We don't have the original 13. There's some people that will get the original 13 and they'll be done.
Yeah.
There's other people that
there seem to be people, but I don't get that at all.
I don't either.
Zero.
Right. Well, I think what they've done well is they'll give us like the breaker we got, which was like the bubblegum breaker, was not a retro card. So they still have another one they could do to tease us along a little bit longer.
Or to screw you people who have to buy everything.
Yeah,
so
I'm that person.
Done with that shit.
Since we got the OG Steeler, I have a feeling if we're going to get a retro Steeler, it'll be more like the cartoon Steeler with the yellow, underneath.
Yeah.
How could you? I just don't see how you could get more. That thing looks exactly like the rest of it. Wait, blame the Wokes. What are you blaming the Wokes for? I'm not really sure what. I'm trying to see.
Sometimes it's best chat.
I'm like, wait.
My friend.
They're very bouncy. Can't be given a dude with pink hair. Is that what you're blaming the Wokes for? I don't think the Wokes.
Flash and Grand Slam 2-pack would be interesting.
I blame the Wokes for no hooded Cobra Commander. If you want to blame the Wokes for
right.
What's your guess?
The moms that get upset at every little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us the hood.
Well, my prediction, I would say, I think Flash. I think we're going to get Flash.
Nice.
All right, I'll give you one more prediction that I know is coming. Which is I think. Well, actually, did they really announce this? But we know that Chibang is coming with a second figure.
Right.
Scarlet.
It's Ninja Force Scarlet. Yeah, it's definitely Ninja Force Scarlet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We all,
Force Scarlet go. You're getting a mini version of this.
she's not gonna have the big butt like she does in the original figure either.
Wait, will she have more articulation as opposed just to her legs going like this?
She's not gonna have resting bitch face or a giant ass, so she's not gonna.
Oh my God.
She'll have more clothes on too.
Well, she had the giant. She was all caked up to make up for that face.
It could be Ace too. We haven't had an Ace.
Yeah, I debated having Ace on my list because I like him.
Unless you're going to put Ace with the Skyhawk, I would accept that because we're not. There's no way we're going to get a Skyhawk. Excuse me, a Sky Striker. A Sky Striker.
They're just too big.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the things that another thing I talked to Lenny about was he did a mock-up of it in his living room with cardboard, and his daughter could fit inside of it. He said, "There's no way that this thing is it's too big. Even if you did the version of the 3 3/4 that was done, which is nowhere near what an F-14 looks like or the size of."
Right.
Steve says without the leg kick, he doesn't want Big Butt Scarlet.
But so we're not going to get a Sky Striker or an Ace with a Sky Striker.
No. But especially since if they're pulling shit like the Snowcat for their HasLab, there's no way they're doing the Sky Striker. It's just which is kind of a shame. I feel like it would only be maybe if it's a foot bigger. I think it would be it wouldn't be as bad as the Rattler because it would be longer. But the Rattler is annoying as fuck because it's basically a giant wingspan. So you've got to hang it from your ceiling, or you got to move to a bigger place.
There is a true 1/18 scale Sky F-14 out there, and it's huge.
Yeah.
And I've seen somebody they 3D printed they did the Sky Striker as a 3D print, and it was as long as their like dining room table. It was the size of a couch.
We get a lot about
I don't think my wife would be cool with that one.
I want cankles on my Scarlet.
I was just laughing at that.
Giant ass is good if they do it right. Yes, it's very good if they do it right in the real world. On an action figure,
but yeah, maybe. I was gonna say, do you really want it on an action figure?
But the dump truck on Scarlet, as we said, dump truck. Will Scorpio just learned the dump truck. The dump truck on the original Scarlet figure wasn't a good dump truck. It was more like that boxy kind of ass.
Yeah, right.
I gained like 50 pounds. It looks like my ass, basically. All right, let's get to We're always going to go in a dark.
All right, we're 1 hour in, and we're getting to our first figure.
Down.
Number 7.
Number 7, and I'm going to go with whose number 7 is first. And let's see, whose is this? I'm just going to whatever I put first. Oh, Destro, this would be your number 7. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I definitely, ever since I've seen this figure, it's almost like, we definitely need to expand the Iron Grenadiers as a whole. Yeah. And now that we've got the Destro, maybe they're going to start giving us more. It's a crazy awesome figure. Just look at the weapons, the loadout. I love the mask. The mask looks it looks a lot like the classified that we have now, but maybe it's a little more battle ready, so to speak. He's got the big protective shoulder the protection there, the one that faces, he's holding a heavy gun. I think that's just a ridiculous figure, and it would be awesome and classified.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'd be a good figure.
I would love that thing. Yeah, that would be great.
Let's go, Hasbro.
It's like those newer ones, they don't get the love they deserve because some of those designs they had on those newer figures really are nice.
But the Pursuit of Cobra is one of the best. That's the best. I think some of the best designs they've ever done. Are all
100%. The low light, the beachhead.
That low light is so good.
My God, it's amazing. It's probably the best low light. It really is. It's
his loadout was there was so much for a 3 3/4 figure.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. The snake eyes. The snake eyes is cool. Obviously, snake eyes is always cool.
Yeah, I could get. Contemplate getting. Yeah, I get a huge Sky Striker. If they had one, you could ride around.
My wife wants you to know that Snake Eyes is not as hot as he used to be. They need to work on that for.
Nice.
Really,
Snake Eyes is the sexiest so far.
Does she understand he doesn't have a face?
Oh, other than the original, she said she's just over here.
I think she just likes a man who can't talk.
Wow.
That's why me and Snake Eyes make such a good team. I do enough talking for the both of us.
There you go. What? You, Michael? Nah. What are you talking
No.
All right, what's next up?
So, all right, great pick. Yeah, that would be a number one. That would be such an easy one for them to do too.
Yeah,
100%.
So just read. All they got to do is like give you a little bit from the Grim Viper, a little bit from the Iron Grenadier. There you go.
Make it happen.
All right, we got RA's pick here. Raven.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is like almost a no-brainer too. Like I could totally see this coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, they like taking women, I think, because Emily certainly is like wants to push for women. I'm all for it. I think all of us are for it too. That's the thing. Is like
I could see her coming.
Fans love the women figures. What's that?
Oh yeah, the female.
Because they always put the female figures with Cobras in the vehicle stuff. They give a like her, and that's you have the the Steel Force or Steel Core helmet thing. Put the helmet over her, so you makes her army builder.
Right.
Do it that way, but I think that'd be because we're not going to get Skies or the Night Raven, which would be awesome. But like,
put her with the fang.
I'd take the bat or not the bat. Well, yeah, the fire bat.
Put her with the fang.
Yeah, that'd be great. So good. I would love that.
Yeah, that
smile, which is Ari's face. He's like, yes, that would make my day.
Yeah, or even the fire bat. Put her with the fire bat would be great because it still kind of gives you that idea of the Night Raven, or at least that feel, aesthetically. And I just think that she would work well with it, and then that way you can do another figure for the fang.
Yeah.
Jamie Cook says New York Water Tower hideout. That would be wild. That would be very wild. Yeah, I love that. So okay, yeah, this Raven would be on my top. Would be up there for me too. That would
nice. Love it.
I would say HasLab me a Night Raven. Yeah, it's the same length as the Sky Striker, I believe. It's about the same.
She was so much cooler. I'm sorry, I love the Night Raven, man. That
oh my god, GI Customs.
Whenever I go to cons and I see one, I'm like, I should pick up another one. No,
right?
No, you have one still. Stop.
You're saying Mill City Toys talked about a possible water moccasin. It's too small for HasLab, in my opinion.
Right,
it's way too small.
Agreed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Now,
definitely.
Gridiron Studios made a basically kind of water moccasin.
Pretty dope.
And, it looks pretty good, but I just think it's too small, and it would piss me off because if they do a water moccasin, that means they're not doing a hydrofoil. The rumor is I've heard they were doing a water moccasin. I've heard they've canceled it, but they were, but in that leak, water moccasin with a gunner.
A water moccasin is another one that's small enough where it can be a retail. It'll fit in the same box as the Stinger.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Maybe a hair longer, but
but not by much. But
same plastic.
Who cares?
Same amount of plastic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is for me is like so it's because it's pretty narrow. They should be able to do that. Fuck those people if they try making HasLabs out of everything. That's like they gotta stop.
It's not one that you want to beef up. At least when they like beefed up the Snowcat, it looked right. The moccasin is like, to me, it's sleek and it's a just like the smaller size of it is what really sells it. You have Copperhead, and then just right almost on top of them is the gunner, right? And then right behind the gunner is the fan. There's not a whole bunch happening there. So I think keeping it small and sleek is the way to go.
The only way you do that as a HasLab is if you're putting like the Whale or some other vehicle with it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the whole other thing. You do a combo
vehicles.
thing for a HasLab. You get
that
and that. It's like Vamp 2 and the HAL with the flak, it's
right.
like but then it's like, is that really a HasLab, or you just being lazy and throw it all together? Like,
right.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're basically saying everything can be a HasLab. We can just package it together. We can just, like we can pile 7 things we want in a package.
If they said the Thunder Machine is too small to be a HasLab, the water moccasin is way too small.
Oh yeah, because that's tiny.
It's about the same size as the Thunder Machine.
That's it.
But the hydrofoil is the logical next step. I 100% hope that the hydrofoil, it's got to be the next one. Okay, in their theory, I think the Whale is too big. In my theory, I don't think it's too big, because if you've seen the Ghost, which was a HasLab they did for Star Wars, it's fucking giant,
enormous.
I I think the difference is that the whale would have more parts and more plastic.
And more stuff they can break.
I mean, I'm telling you, that Ghost has a lot going on there, though.
Yeah, but I was at a shop in Georgia, and they had one, and I was like, oh my God. Big. It was huge. It was, just insane. I'm like,
the coffee table.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they did Jabba's sail barge, which is bigger than any of these.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's the biggest HasLab they've done. The next one would be probably Unicron.
Yeah, Unicron. I mean, if they did Unicron, they can do
a whale. Well, here's the thing: is that what are they going to learn? Because I think they don't care about GI Joe. It's like they're going to learn that we're actually the ones who are buying everything, and and the people and Star Wars fans are like, but they're kind of bagging out on the.
But you got to remember, petroleum prices have doubled since then, and petroleum is the key ingredient in plastic.
Yeah,
blame Trump, man.
Don't Have start that.
He's the reason we're not going to get a fucking whale.
Don't start that tonight.
I know.
Thanks for coming, Big Red. Appreciate it. Roadblock in the house. What's up, my dude? Good night, Red.
All right.
But no, some of these things that there are certain things that I can tell you from just talking to them several times over that they are aware of everything that that we want, and there are things that they're trying to consider of. Is it practical to make not just can they afford to make it in-house, but will it sell?
Yeah.
And because look at what happened with there's so many HasLabs that have failed. The Star Wars Rancor failed, and that seemed like a no-brainer that would make it.
Yeah, I would buy that. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, but it just it failed. So GI Joe, they've been successful with every single HasLab they've done.
Yeah.
So they don't want to put one out there that's going to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that stench doesn't go away.
All left. I hate all of them equally, which is how everybody should be. You should hate them all. They all suck. Screw them. Screw politics. Let's not talk about it. I'm only mad about the oil prices as it affects my action figures. Okay.
Right.
That is not true.
I'll walk the 20 miles to work. Give me my toys.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, that's why we
screw both sides. Anybody who takes a side, you're losing it.
Molds cost a lot of money for them to make a brand new mold. So that's why repaints and using the same mold over and over again works, and why we're able to get something like Big Lob, which nearly was everything about him was pretty much a brand new mold. Even the weapons he came with, most of those were new compared to some of the other figures we'd gotten. So we have to get the repaints and the army builders and things like that in order to get these new molds.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that because something like the Grim Viper, like sometimes those repaints just turn out to be amazing.
Right? Yeah, that was great.
Like awesome, So I mean, I can understand when people are like, oh, just another repaint. I'm like, yeah, but like that's what I said. When you get in a hand like Grim Viper, I was like, that's the one. I got it in my hand. I'm like, oh my God, he's like still on my desk. Like he was like that awesome.
All right, let's get into let's see. Your pick
next up
was Night Force Charbroil.
Yeah. So,
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because this one, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, but brown isn't really the greatest color.
Mm-hmm.
And the normal Charbroil just isn't that cool. I have him, and I'm like, I want to love him because I can't afford $250, $300 for a Night Force one. But like, give me. I mean, it doesn't have to be a 2-pack, but give me a Night Force Charbroil. That the helmet, the all the stuff, the weaponry. It's just such a cool figure. Like that's one. I'm like, yes, please, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. I can get. Like, there's other ones I thought about putting there, like maybe the Nut Muskrat one or something. But I'm like, dude, for me, Charbroil is like, he's just so cool, Night Force. And then he looks
Night Force is an awesome. I love Night Force, and I hope we get more of the Night Force figures.
Yeah.
The only thing I hope we don't get a whole lot more of is I don't want them to overdo Python Patrol and Tiger Force, like Super 7's doing. Like everybody now is Night Force, or everybody is Tiger Force, and everybody's Python Patrol. So you have nobody left in the regular forces. I like it when they keep the forces small, like they're a special unit within it.
Yeah. I like that what they're doing Night Force too. That they're this like they fight. They're like the X-Files of GI Joe. They like fight.
Yeah.
You know, they fight Crystal Ball and the Dire Troopers and shit. Repeater and Muskrat, all good, very, very good, very, very good picks. Mistiff, 1976, Dusty and his pet, they're coming. Dusty and Sandstorm are definitely coming. Yeah. This was in my leaks, and it is this one I have had 100% confirmed. So this is.
I don't think we're ever going to get a fridge again. I see somebody put we need a fridge. I don't think we'll get a fridge.
He does.
Family said no.
Military.
Yeah, family said no.
Yeah, I don't want them. I mean, so I don't care. I
you have to pay for the rights. You know, you have to. There's so many legal things you have to do to get something like that. Like somebody wanted Rowdy Piper for the Iron Grenadiers. That's never going to happen because. Well, that's never going to happen because his likeness is with WWE and Mattel.
Well, they made him they made him a decade ago, though.
Yes, but so because of the likeness rights that he has signed over with the WWE and with Mattel, because WWE has like this Legends contract that they can only have their likeness with them for certain things. I know Slaughter's different, but for some reason Slaughter falls into a different category than something like Rowdy Piper.
I guess maybe because Slaughter said "fuck you" to the
and
WWF.
left, right?
So when because he actually was told, he was told by Vince McMahon. He said you can't do it. He wanted to do GI Joe. He's like, I'm gonna go do GI Joe, and he said you can't because we got to deal with this company LJN. They're making these figures, so you can't. Sorry. And Slaughter said, yeah, no. I do what I want. I'm doing it.
I'll become a legend.
Right, goodbye. And then he left and he started doing he did some other he went to a different wrestling.
Right. Yeah. Well, with Piper also, since he's passed away, you got to deal with his whoever has his his family, whoever has the estate.
And, Roddy Piper died. Okay.
Yeah.
It's scaring me.
No, Slaughter. Actually, I think Slaughter still works with the WWE now.
He does. Yeah, he's come back and he works with them, but he has his own. He owns his own brand. That's why he sold his action.
Right.
Force. That's why.
Yeah, he owns the copyright. I think he owns the copyright and the trademarks for Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. Very smart, man. Very smart. I'm working on a video on him too. I'm gonna do one on.
Yes.
Hopefully, I'm gonna see him in a couple of weeks. He's at a show near here.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Slaughter to have him sign.
Everybody I talked to
is his Marauder figure is showing up in Ross and other places.
Oh wow!
Which is surprising considering how much everybody wanted that figure.
I think they made a lot. It's. I had somebody. My brother Roblox sent me one, and I think he got it. He picked it up at Ross on the Jeep. So yeah, that wound up, on clearance about everywhere.
All right, let's go to the next pick, which I think might be mine. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's yours.
I believe it is yours.
Heart Wrencher. All right. Yeah. Apparently, according to my leak, is coming. This is the vehicle she originally came with. Now, does that excite me? Not really. But I like the idea of, a cute little punk rock new Dreadnought girl.
I tell you what, that's an easy reprint for them, though. Just to,
Yeah.
If they're going to do a new mold for her, then putting her with something that is a reprint, works out for them.
I also feel like she wouldn't be very hard for them to do because between Zorana and Zanya's body, you make a new head, you give her a weapon, and now you got Heart Wrencher, and you put her with a stinger, and everybody wins.
You can give her some of CoverGirl's weapon or loadout. You can give her some of Clutch's. And you have her loadout right there.
Yeah. Will, are you asking who about Heart Wrencher? So Heart Wrencher is a very obscure dreadnought. There's a lot of obscure dreadnoughts that
she's also the dreadnought that gets around quite a bit.
Yeah. She's in the Devil's Due comic. I believe she was originally introduced, and then she was set up. You could buy her in this set where she came with the Stinger repainted as a dreadnought vehicle. And she's just a cute, punk rock girl, and which I'm going to bet you all were into as a youth. You
guys
all look like you were into
CoverGirl.
You guys all look like you were into cute punk rock girls as a youth. Is that a good guess?
Oh yeah,
dude, I didn't have punk rock girls in high school. They were all cheerleader types. I barely remember any kind of alternative chick.
Yeah, not much back in my day.
Not so much. All right,
she's Dreadnoug's version of CoverGirl.
I was into this for my 20s more, actually. I would say.
Well, listen, I've definitely had how do we say? I've spent time with girls who wore fishnets for sure.
Thank you for confirming.
Thanks for that visual.
Yeah. As we go. I would like to spend as much time with girls.
Look, I'm all for more dreadnoughts. I hope we get to the point where we get the dreadheads at this point.
Yeah. They got to reinvent them because those sucked. But tramp stamp on the dreadnought. Yeah, she's got to have a tramp stamp. 100%.
Gotta have it.
Maybe a cold sore.
No, what she needs. Oh, cold sore. She needs to have a cold slither tramp stamp.
all the hot girls in your school look like Salt and Pepper. Okay, I guess.
All right, next up.
She's like a town bicycle. Everybody gets a ride. All right, now I'm.
Wow, there we go. I thought we drove off the cliff a minute ago, but now I think we just did.
We live off the cliff. All right, I think this was yours, RA, I think, right?
I'm looking at it on my phone, so I can barely see it right now.
It's Cesspool. I can
Cesspool, yes.
Yeah,
Cesspool,
totally.
Definitely.
He could have been on my list too. All right, well, he's one of my favorites.
It's just such an interesting looking character, and I mean his backstory is great too.
Oh yeah, he's like a CEO.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's one of those characters where, granted, the Eco Warriors the whole thing was retarded, stupid. Sorry, I know that's inappropriate now. It's one of those things where it wasn't well done for them. But there were a couple cool characters that came out of it, and and even I think they had him in the Dick cartoons or something.
Yeah.
He was terrible. But he was one of the standouts of that whole line.
Well, I'm sorry. She had your classified Hot Topic exclusive, and there's another good one here. Heart Wrencher would make a good hooker for Shipwreck.
Jeez.
100%.
But her and Satin
Girl
together.
I date. I don't know. Either one. That was what I was thinking.
You put Heart Wrencher and Satin together.
But yeah, he actually he was also in the comic book for a while. He made it to the comic, and he was pretty cool in the comic. I think the other reason why I think I love the idea is he needs a glow up because he wasn't the greatest figure because that backpack sucks. It's like a sporting backpack, and then he has this like giant chainsaw which spews chemicals and shit. And I think what they would do with him would be insane. I think you would.
Yeah, what they did, how they changed Crystal Ball.
Yeah,
with him, like you can see, he's got the nuts and bolts of a freaking amazing figure.
Yes, 100%.
And then you could give him zombie vipers.
Oh, chat is. Fuck yeah! You need the zombie. I want the zombie vipers bad. Want them bad, yeah.
That's cool. Nice.
They're made, he seems like one that they've got to do at some point.
Yeah.
Because he's especially like how far we're going, but he's relatively popular for the later line. Like people recognize him. You're like, oh yeah, I never had him, but I recognize him. And sometimes that's all they need.
Yeah,
he would be so good. He would just be. We got a troll. We got somebody trolling here, by the way. Which whatever. I don't. We need a diverse actor to play Duke. Dude stuff. You said another thing in the back. I think you said. I forget what it was. I saw him trolling before. Which if it's a I'm fucking with you troll, I can as a Gen X I can appreciate that.
Let him troll. It's just another person that's paying attention. It gives you another, view.
Exactly. No, I'm saying like
makes another 0.08 cents. Woo-hoo.
I have 100% like lack of sensitivity. Like
Right.
I'm not sensitive at all. Like, and I like we talk like whatever. Good for me. That's funny. I find it interesting. Oh, thank you, Miss Stiff. Appreciate Great Action Force vid. Oh yeah. So I sat down with Bobby Vallon and we talked about Cobra Law. That was fun.
Cool.
Okay, let's see.
That's another one. We're going to get Globules before long too.
We
I just hope
got
they do it.
That's got to be the fall exclusive, con exclusive. It's got.
I hope they put him in the ball where he can come out of the and then
definitely.
you have the snake.
That would be so much money though. That ball's going to cost you $100 easy. If
you're going to do it as an exclusive, you've got to do it that way.
Yeah.
If you're going to put him out as just a deluxe, then you just put him out as the snake.
Yeah.
But if you do the exclusive, go all out.
Vinny D'Oliva signed his cesspool. That's very cool. He's named after him.
Nice. Night, Paul. Yeah, that sounds right.
That's very cool.
My brother Conrad says Overlord would go hard. Incredible figure that Hama somehow ignored.
Overlord would be a good one.
Totally. No, you are not the troll. You're not the troll. We do stuff as the troll. Like I said, we appreciate your trolling, my friend. We appreciate any trolling is good-natured trolling is all welcome.
Mister, if you're not the troll, you just paid money to be here. So no, you're not the troll.
I think it's fun. If it's fun, it makes me laugh. Then it's not really a troll here necessarily. This was the troll there, Mystic. We need diverse actors to play Duke. Yeah, that would go over real well. That would go over great. Everybody loves that shit. Now,
do you remember what happened to Ripcord in the first movie?
Yeah. Honestly, that one I didn't care about, but I actually hate that actor. I hate him as an actor.
Marlon Wayans.
No, he's the worst Wayans brother. It's like the fact.
That's true.
The worst.
Here's
Wayans
the thing about
brother.
G.I. Joe: they're code names, so you can change them up from time to time.
Yeah, change them up. Well, that's the other thing is like, you could have made him anybody. He didn't have to be Ripcord, but it didn't really bother me.
Right.
Okay. Let's get to the next one. Cesspool would be great though. I think we got to get him. I think he's definitely coming within the next year. That is my surprise. That would be a surprise if we don't get him.
Because you could do like what you've done with Crystal Ball. Where you have the Dire Troopers, all the ones that they're putting. You can do a whole, his whole team. Make a whole team with him. Maybe you do like the Clear Red or something.
It's a great figure for Cesspool. Repulsor. He was like a con exclusive, and he's like his best buddy. But he has a zombie dog.
Yeah.
So let's see. Wait. Walter's World, aka YoJoe Reviews, says you have to comment on my channel in order for the chat to show up. Apparently, just so you know.
Well, it's weird because like I just hopped on mine to see what was going on, and like there's somebody who's commenting a lot, but they're not showing up. But then when I commented with Walter's World, then it did show up on the side thing, and I'm like, what the hell?
I don't even know. It's all a mystery to me, and
we're all just learning together.
Yeah, I'll go with whatever happens. All right, mutually beneficial promotion is always the goal for me. Mutual beneficial promotion.
My number 6 right here, Hooded Cocoa.
This is yours. Oh, this is a no-brainer, man.
It's a no-brainer. They'll make money. It'll be popular. It'll get some buzz because some people say they're upset by it or whatever. It'll be fine. I mean, it'll sell. I don't think it'll be as much they peg because I don't think they'll make as many because they kind of learned on the retro carded one. But the thing is, the retro carded one they had of Cobra Commander, we already had the Mickey Mouse one from the Hiss. So the diehards like, I already got the Hiss one. Right. And if they already popped it open, they're like, well.
That's one of the figures I did not open. That's like one of the only ones.
Mickey Mouse
one. I didn't open that. Yeah, I didn't open that either.
I did. Screw y'all. He sits in the turret.
The only thing about Hooded Cobra Commander is,
baby.
I didn't buy him.
No?
Well, because the thing for me is I have the Mickey Mouse because I bought a His tank. So that's the only reason I didn't buy him. If I didn't have the Mickey Mouse, I would have bought him. But to me, he would just be so redundant to have him.
Right.
He's so similar, except for the Mickey Mouse pattern. It's not enough for me to want him. But
the Hooded Cobra Commander, though, that's one of those things where I know in the past that they said they can't talk about it legally, but who knows with this day and age that we are in now.
Yeah.
They now say like never say never about anything. So it's kind of like,
well, and that's one of the things that they've always said is there's nothing off the table.
Yeah.
Except I will say, except for this one figure that they talked about in, a long time ago, but
which they've made 100 times. They made him the year before they talked about it.
Yeah,
they made him so many times. So
now it's possible. I mean, I wouldn't say no, never anymore.
I think the more they don't give a fuck about the movie producer because the movies are so irrelevant, they're more likely they're going to do the Hooded Coco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like we're at the point where it's like, how much are they really like paying attention to this movie producer who doesn't produce movies for them?
Right.
I mean, like he doesn't make movies for them. They're not making a movie. Like I know they're talking about making a movie. I think the likelihood we see that thing is slim.
I agree.
It just depends on what Danny McBride comes up with now, because he's the lead. He's the one that they're relying on right now is to give them something.
Well, should Hollywood learn its lesson? They are doing everything bad. They can't do anything. They can't succeed with anything anymore. Like any big giant tentpole movie they come out with is a flop. Like they
mind-boggling.
And the weird shit, though, it's the weird shit. Like Weapons was a huge hit. You know what I mean? Like there's like the Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney was a huge hit. They don't know what they're doing. They're betting on huge tent poles and always failing now. It's like
I mean, we've talked about it before.
You got to make a good movie, and then you have a good movie. People want a good story. You go from there. Instead of trying to create things you think people want, you have a good story, and based off that, people will go and watch. Like they're watching a movie about a pet rock right now. That's huge.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if He-Man, I think if He-Man is a hit, much more likely we see the G.I. Joe movie. If He-Man is a flop, which I think it probably will be, there's no chance we're seeing a G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah,
we've talked about it before.
They're gonna go fuck this.
We've talked about it before, and where I told you I would start with it is with Jem, and you have somebody like Taylor Swift in there, and you introduce G.I. Joe quality or parts to it. You're good with somebody with a star like that, and you get a big time director, like they did with Barbie. You're going to make a lot of money and get people already started into a world or a universe that you can make, where you can put them into your G.I. Joe movies or your Transformers or something that's going to, carry over and bring that crowd with them. And then you're going to have, but you also, the other thing is that they've got to not be afraid to tell a G.I. Joe story.
Yeah.
And tell a military story at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Top Gun too, killed it.
Right.
That's right.
1.5 billion.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing you can do with G.I. Joe is you make G.I. Joe more of a paramilitary, and you give the camp part of it to Cobra, and the over top part of it to Cobra, and you have it where Cobra can be what Cobra is in the comics and in the cartoons, but you keep G.I. Joe more realistically ground-based.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like when that movie War Machine came out, and that was basically like a bad G.I. Joe movie, and it was like everybody watched it. It wasn't. I saw it. It was very mediocre. I don't know if anybody else watched in the chat.
All right.
It was pretty. Like I'm not gonna say it was bad. Like it was like if you know what you're going into and you just want like a simple like military action story, you pretty much got exactly what you came for, and you were like happy you spent 2 hours on it. Not a great movie by any means.
Not a great movie.
But it definitely worked. So you can but that was proof to me they could do it as a Netflix movie, and it would be huge.
Amazon Prime spent like what was it, like almost $1 billion on 8 episodes of that Rings of Power, like that.
Wait, and terrible. Whatever. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I heard it was bad, but all right. Let's look at this.
Yeah. Ooh, I want to know about this one.
This was Destro's pick. He is a big Python Patrol fan, my friend. Right?
Yeah. So I would. I do like Python Patrol, and I feel like the Alley Viper could be used in many different ways. And I think one way would be to make a Python Patrol one, make a 788 one. All of them. Like why not? Do that. It's an amazing mold. Everything about the Alley Viper is perfect for like G.I. Joe. The backpack, the shield, the weapon, all of it, the face mask. They are literally it's the coolest damn thing. From the day I seen it, it was always one of my favorites. And the card art is great. Just everything about it is awesome. And so I feel like, I like the Trench Viper, the Crimson Alley Viper. They're both absolutely amazing. I think the Trench Viper might be one of the best classifieds altogether.
Oh, it's fantastic.
For sure.
Amazing.
I didn't get one. I'm very bitter about it.
I am too. I'm right there with you, Destro. I can see them doing an Arctic Alley Viper first.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Arctic. The Alley Viper's always been one of my most favorite designs.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney is cover girl. Gina Carano is the Baroness. Print money.
If you're going to do that, Glenn Powell needs to be a Duke.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Somebody suggested for Duke Dr. Cox from Scrubs. I can't think of that guy's name, and he's got that boxy head though. I thought it's a good show. It's definitely a good show.
I mean, I think you could use the dude from War Machine. He's huge though. He's kind of he's like jacked.
Either that or Alan
Glenn
Richter.
Powell's that's good casting actually. That's very good casting.
Agree.
That's when I actually, it's funny is when I started writing Protocol G.I. Joe, he's kind of who I had in mind for Duke.
Oh yeah. Now the one casting I would have would be Tom Hardy as Destro.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only problem I think with that is you're going to not have him in the mask too much.
Gotta be in the mask the whole time.
Gotta be in the mask the whole time.
Now, if you did the mask CG where it was a complete rendering of his actual face, I could see him maybe doing it. But if you alter it in any way, I don't know if you're going to get him to be able to be in that mask, in the silver mask the whole time.
Well, I think the idea that they had in Rise of Cobra was,
I think Willem Dafoe in anything.
Oh, for sure. I think the idea of the nanomites that gave him that at the very end of Rise of Cobra, when Cobra Commander hits him with the nanomites or whatever.
Yeah,
I could see that. Like, there's something there, right? How would you have a modern day guy in a metal 18th century or 15th century mask or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you do it like I did in my book.
Yeah, there you go.
Make it where in the book, it's a pliable. They've taken beryllium and made it into where it's like almost a pliable, metal.
Yeah.
So it moves with him.
Oh, I don't like the moving. Not a fan of the moving.
No. It would be like it is in the cartoon, where it actually looks like his skin. It's skin against him. And it just his mouth would move with it. His eyes would. It doesn't. It's not where it's like the Man in the Iron Mask. It'd be more like a flexible skin. And if you do it that way, then you could do the contours of somebody's actual face, so it still looks like them, and it just looks like they poured liquid metal on them.
Right. All right, y'all in the chats is just trying to get me hot and bothered here. All right. Sydney Sweeney is the Baroness. Anna Diarma says the Baron. I can't. I'm gonna have to get a fan and shit. Nah.
I'd say Sydney Sweeney as cover girl.
Sydney Sweeney as the Baroness is terrible, but I want to watch her in a Baroness costume, bending over for the OnlyFans thing she does in the new season of whatever the show is called that she's in.
Oh, the one with
she would be
Zendaya.
that's a horrible cat. That's the worst casting I've ever heard. Is Sydney Sweeney as the bear? She's got to be a woman with a Middle Eastern accent. That's it. Even the movie, I hate what's her face as the Baroness.
Yes,
I think she's terrible. First of all, she's English. She can't even do an English accent. She does an American accent. Why?
Right.
It's so
because
stupid.
they changed her name to like Anna or something, instead of being Anastasia.
Anna de Cobre.
Anna Lewis.
Yes.
Rex Lewis, because she's not.
Yep.
How stupid is that? All you gotta do for me, Femke Jensen at the time would have been really good. She's obviously too old now, but I think you gotta get a Middle Eastern lady. You gotta get a very. And how hard is to find a hot Middle Eastern? Not Middle Eastern. Sorry, Eastern European.
European. Yeah.
It's not hard. They're all hot. Like it's not hard. Like just go to fucking whatever and like Astoria or some shit.
We'll find her.
Some shit. Walk over the street and throw a rock, and there's a hot ass dark haired lady in glasses that has an accent that is perfect for the get Melania Trump.
All right, let's get focused back again, guys.
So
what we hit till midnight. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Thank you. You're good at this.
8 a.m. class.
This is why you're a master YouTuber, my friend. You know, keep it on task.
Yeah, gotta stay on task. Gotta stay.
Yeah. I drink too much, and then I forget it. We're screwed. All right, wait.
Do we used to do like 6-hour lives? I understand. Believe me.
I feel like I'm out of order, but I think this is Keel Hall. I think this is yours, RA, right?
Yeah, I had Keel Hall. I think we need more.
It's not a secret. It's everybody's fantasy.
Right? Give me General Flag. Give me Keel Hall. Give me General Ray. Give me some of the more upper echelon of the command.
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be great. We know we're not getting the one thing we know we're never getting is the flag. So
right.
So make them, because there's no way.
Yeah.
Right.
Jerome is like the 3rd tier or the 4th tier of the whale HasLab, and there you go.
There you go.
If you're gonna do a whale as a HasLab, I'll take it.
Nice. Good call.
Destro Designs went for 5 hours.
Do a 3-pack.
5 hours. That's a record.
Yeah. 3-pack.
I can't do that kind of stuff anymore. I got to be working 5 hours. So
look,
yeah, we had a good show tonight.
Do a 3-pack. Give me him. Give me General Flag and General Colton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good call. I like it.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is a good call. Melted Coppers. She shags Michael Douglas. Well, he was attractive, 20 years ago. Now he's like, had throat cancer and shit. Maybe not so much, but poor guy's got throat cancer. At least she stand by her man. No, that's right. A good thing, dude. Right? You'd hope your wife, you get throat cancer from going down on prostitutes. This is basically how he got it. Your wife stands by you. That's a fucking win-win, dude. That is some Baroness Destro devotion.
All right, next up. Keep it focused, man. Keep it focused.
You want to talk about the Michael Douglas going down on
that vision is in my head right now, and I would like to think of something else now. Thank you very much.
YoJoe Reviews staying right on point.
Right.
Look at my pick.
So I see someone has the twins. Who's this?
This is my pick. The twins in suits.
Nice.
Here's my thought.
Yes.
You're going to come with a suitcase that has hidden weapons in it. They're going to have, extensive enterprise, weapons hidden, like kind of like the briefcase in the James Bond movie. Wait, which one was it? From Russia with Love?
Now, here's the question: Would you do them with the same suitcase, or would you put money in one of them, or weapons hidden underneath the money in one and a computer in the other? Or would you just give them a weapons loadout inside their briefcase?
I would have it be like a weapon, the handle comes out, it's a knife. You flip it open, there's a machine gun. something like just like that. Yeah, from Russia with Love, that awesome suitcase.
Yeah, right.
It. But you gotta this would be. I would love this thing.
Oh yeah,
cool.
It'd be such an easy thing to do too.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's my thing. I don't know if it would sell.
I think it would. No, you think?
Two guys in suit, dude. You can get Tomax and Zam out looking cool in their outfits for like $12 at Big Bad Toy Store. I mean, it looks like that's my worry.
Well, you can also the figure that that Destro Designs got with the hood for the Cobra Commander is a suit almost exactly like that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. True. I've seen people do that as well. It looks pretty good, definitely.
Yep.
I can get that from my boss. Hey, I got a toy that looks like you. Here's you in your business suit.
Jordan Love for heavy duty, Lena the plug for as the Baroness.
I hate that I know who that is.
I have no idea.
I'm not familiar with Jordan Love's work.
For some reason, I don't feel like I should look that up at work.
No.
Yeah, probably not. That wouldn't be.
No.
I've heard of the Lena lady. However, okay.
I'm getting my twins. My nephew's a twin car salesman toys. There you go.
Look, they've done, and Marvel Legends has done guys in suits with very little loadout.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, they have Hammerhead and Rose.
Yeah.
There's Tombstone, Professor X. You know, I mean, there's tons of them they've done in suits.
A lot of people have done. They've like taken the head off of the Crimson Twins and put them on those figures to But I just think we get why not do a 2-pack? It'd be great.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. I never knew this until I started talking to everybody at Hasbro. Just because they're all under the same umbrella, they don't share molds.
They clearly don't. Yeah, they don't. So
and I think
we're lucky to fit. I actually honestly, the only ones that would fit maybe would be Marvel Legends, but the sculpting is less detailed.
Yeah,
it would look weird on a G.I. Joe sculpt. The Black Series, I bought a few Black Series because my kids are really
the Black Series are actually smaller than Marvel Legends, but the Marvel Legends they actually have the same neck post. They're the same size neck post, so the heads fit on them, perfectly.
That's nice. That's good. Yeah, they should because there's a few of those I would buy. They're kind of good. Good some. Oh shit! Making some ad money. You know what? I think I forgot to disconnect it from ads. I'm sorry. There are probably ads on this, aren't there? That's probably really annoying.
I've got
really
I've got
fucking
a
annoying
TV playing in the background.
I'm sorry
I've seen
about
some
that.
ads.
Normally, I remember to delete the ads. I'm going to turn them off right now as we speak. Turning it off. I like turning them off because it's really not worth the money. The annoyance level for you is not worth the money that I would make. Really, honestly, when you make money on YouTube, 10,000 views is like $100, right?
If you're lucky.
So 1,000 views is like $10. I don't really need your $10, man. like I think we're fine. We're fine.
Right.
So,
right.
I'd rather we have an uninterrupted conversation than I get your $10. So I just turned it off. So thank you for letting me know. So so that was my pick. All right, let's go to the next one. I attempt sometimes in my ADHD brain. I don't remember. All right. Here we go. This is
my number 2.
Nice. This was my number 5, I think.
Your number 5. Yes. Okay.
I just actually picked this figure up. I got it carded right over there. And it's even cooler now that I have it in hand, to the degree that I think I might actually buy another one so I can keep one in the box and open one. Like it's truly a fucking awesome figure.
Yeah.
I have 2 open because I got them loose, and then they had him at one of my local shops, and it was like, oh my god, you have him on card, so I picked him up on card. So I got 3 of them, and I love
this. Is another no-brainer.
I just love that figure, because one I got when my kids were young, and I got them G.I. Joe guys. I had that, and I was like, I love this figure. This is so cool. And then when I started collecting again, picked up another one, and I got this carded one. It's just a cool figure. I just really love it.
But here's the thing with this figure. So you already have the Arctic Flint design for the HasLab. So he has a similar jacket. If you make the necklace a separate piece, like the dog tags and stuff in the 60th line, then you can use this figure for an Arctic Snake Eyes, this version of Snake Eyes, and then any other Arctic one you want to do. And you can use the same mold from the Flint.
Right.
I think Hasbro needs to listen to you, RA.
They love making Snake Eyes. They love it.
Good. Remember, we get at least 2 Snake Eyes a year, and they've already come out with 2. So
I guarantee you, every version of Snake Eyes is going to win. We're going to get a Resolute Snake Eyes. We'll get a Renegade Snake Eyes. We'll
Tiger
get
Force Snake Eyes. I get Night Force Snake Eyes even more.
Here's the one Snake Eyes we've never had, and it's the one I want the most. Deformed face Snake Eyes.
Right.
Maskless. Yes.
We have never had a maskless Snake Eyes. One of my favorite Snake Eyes figures was from the 25th anniversary line. Actually, it was from the 2-pack with the comics, and it's from like Silent Interlude, and he's tattered. He's got like tattered clothes, and underneath his like clothes, you can see the wristband where he's got the Arashikage tattoo.
Yeah,
that's a great figure. But the one figure they've never made is with his helmet off and his deformed face. They need to do that.
I would love to see that figure done. But here, do you think they would do it? I mean,
why not? They did Deadpool headless.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
pizza face Snake Eyes is 100% what he would be. He'd be pizza face Snake Eyes. I don't see why they wouldn't do him, but I think I don't know. It doesn't come up for some reason, but why not do him? That'd be amazing.
I was honestly going to say, because same reason that you wouldn't see Boba Fett without his mask, but we already know what Boba Fett looks like without his mask. So
right.
All bets are off now.
Yeah, he's gnarly. He has to look worse. When he's finally revealed in the comic book, he doesn't look that bad, but he's also had a lot of plastic surgery at that point, so it's very disappointing. I want to see him with his like face mangled. That would be cool.
It almost needs to be like a Deadpool type face, or look like he got hit with a hot iron on his face.
What's Footjob Baroness figure? What the fuck? See, that's a troll I really appreciate. There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, why not? Just
Nicolas Cage's Snake Eyes? No. Oh God, no.
That's funny.
Sorry, I was just ordering that tattered Snake Eyes because he looks so freaking cool.
He's amazing.
I literally am buying it right now.
Best figures ever, and he comes with a pretty decent Storm Shadow. I think
if you're going to do the maskless Snake Eyes, then you got to do the tattered, uniform where you see the tattoo and you can kind of see some of the other scars and things. Maybe even doing like they did, the Darth Maul where they did like the shirtless, so you can see his tattoos and stuff. We're doing shirtless where you can see the scars and stuff.
Yeah, and give it or give an alternate head,
right.
So Freddy Krueger face thing, exactly. Freddy Krueger face. Thank you, Tac Tac Toys, by the way. This says love your channel. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good that's one I don't think a lot of people think about either, is doing a maskless.
Well, should Lizzo play Roadblock? If they made a G.I. Joe show and it was made by Paramount, I think we would probably see Lizzo play Roadblock. Just gonna say it. Has anybody watched the new Star Trek show?
I have.
I heard it's the worst thing that's ever been created. I haven't watched it.
It's very YA. It's very Gen Z and kind of Gen Alpha.
Right.
No, thank you. About enough in your real life.
My daughter's 18, so
your students are probably doing that enough to you there.
Yeah, my daughter's 18, so I kind of, I didn't mind it as much as a lot of people. My wife actually loves the show.
Really? I haven't watched. I don't know. I've only watched.
I don't have Paramount Plus, so I haven't seen
her favorite Star Trek series is Voyager. But so there's a lot of people that didn't like Voyager, but she liked it because there was a lot of things that she could relate to. My daughter enjoyed it, which for my daughter to sit down and watch Star Trek, it was cool for me to sit there and watch a show with her with that because she'll watch Star Wars and things like that, but she could care less about Star Trek. So
yeah. Well,
for me to watch a show with her,
they haven't made a good Star Trek show in a long time. Okay, let's go to our somebody's pick was this. This is a great pick, and I think one of the things is people may think that because this is sort of the first thing we ever got, but
sort of
the original figure does not have a lot of the details of this.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, you talked about it. It was your pick, right, Mark?
That makes a great retro figure.
I had that. That's when I went to Retro Card V2, like on a retro card like this. So I get multiples. I had one that be on the wall. I'd have one I'd open up. I probably opened two up because I just love this figure.
Right.
You know, I don't know how you fit Timber on the retro card, but I mean it's probably doable.
If there's space, it's just
it would take up most awkward.
Of it.
Yeah, I think it would be fantastic.
But they have the one detail they didn't put on any of the figures is you got the wrist like dart launcher.
Yeah.
You need that dart launcher, man.
Agreed.
You pretty much already have this figure with the one that came with the polar bear. So you could easily make it into a black, suited, just use the black mold.
Switch ahead and you're okay.
Yeah, you just the bandolier is a separate piece.
Yeah,
you already have Timber.
You take 52 and you take the polar bear one and you kit bash and then you got it.
Yeah,
right.
We get a lot of people shitting on in the chat. I'm just going to talk about it. Operative. I will not stay on the Star Trek bashing. I think you have to understand that new Star Trek is not Star Trek. It has nothing to do with Star Trek. It is a complete, and I think I think this is why I want to step in. I feel like there's a disconnect in the chat because I'm guessing that Operative D, if you've watched the new Star Trek, you kind of know you're talking about don't bash Star Trek. The new shit's not Star Trek. It has nothing to do with Star Trek.
You're talking about Starfleet Academy.
I don't think anything they've done with Star Trek has been Star Trek.
So
when they made the Star Trek movies a decade or however long ago it was, when they made the Star Trek movies, those are not Star Trek. That has nothing to do with Star Trek. They're action movies. They're about violence and destruction, and they have nothing to do with Star Trek. Anybody who's watched Star Trek would not recognize them. Like when they made Into Darkness, it's not fucking Star Trek. Sorry, it's not Star Trek. So I would agree. Yes, Star Trek is awesome. Do not bash Star Trek. Nothing they've made in a decade has been Star Trek.
So here's what I'll say: Strange New Worlds.
I haven't watched that. I'm not. Yeah, I can't say I know everything. I've watched all the Star Trek, the newest stuff on Paramount Plus. Right. Strange New Worlds is very much Star Trek, and I do know. I personally know one of the lead writers on that show, and she is a major Star Trek fan, like from her birth, and she made sure that there were things in there that were very Star Trek. So if you Operative D and I are friends here, so I'm not saying I'm like
no
trying to shit on your opinion. I'm just saying I don't think that I don't think they get Star Trek. I don't think they understand Star Trek.
There is a lot of that there, and they're calling what has been on the Paramount Plus network.
Little boy's room.
Yeah, go for it.
What they're calling what is on the Paramount Plus, the shows, as the Discovery era, and because of the Discovery show was the one that launched it. The executive producer, showrunner, and the person that put all this together has left Paramount Plus.
Wait. So Operative D, do not Will Scorpio, do not block Operative D. Operative D is a very good friend here, and we don't really give a fuck about Star Trek. This is a G.I. Joe. This is a G.I. Joe conversation. We can talk about Star Trek for 5 minutes, but we shouldn't be blocking anybody. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Whatever. Anyway, let's move on here. All right.
This is G.I. Joe. Star Trek.
Can we move? I don't care. Like, I've never watched any of this. I stopped watching the last decade of Star Trek shows because they sucked and they're not Star Trek. The movies were okay, but they're not Star Trek. Like they're fine movies if you want to go to the movies and see a movie, but they're not.
Honestly, there's been hit and miss with it. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that didn't work.
If you know Star Trek, they're just not Star Trek. So I just don't understand like how you could think they're Star Trek. They're not.
Look, even the Picard series, there's a lot of people that are next gen fans that did not like it.
Right, because it's not Star Trek. Anyway, let's go to. So yes, 100%. YoJoe Reviews is correct. We need this figure. This is their number one seller of all time. This would be their number one seller. They think they've made it. The problem is they made it first when they were bad at making figures. So when they made,
we need a true retro version.
Yeah.
Can you please?
Black and gray. I don't need green on him, please.
Can I just say, if you people are blocking him, like, fucking don't do that shit, because are we joking? I hope, because the person had an opinion on Star Trek is not a reason to block somebody. So I hope you're not.
Oh, Jesus, don't block me, please.
And I hope it doesn't hurt him being here and in the chat, because like, fuck you guys, like, don't do that shit. Like, okay, please. All right. Like, don't, like, whatever. People can have opinions. We can have stupid opinions about anything.
Hey, look, there's stupid stuff in G.I. Joe, too. So, you know, we can talk about the stupid stuff in G.I. Joe just as much as we could talk about the stupid stuff in Star Trek.
100%. I am the first to call out stupid shit in G.I. Joe. I do not love everything. I think anybody who loves everything is clueless. I think if you love, like, everything in 94, you know, like, do you really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like sometimes you feel like you have to, because you have to, like, you know, protect it. You're like, no, you have to be honest, because otherwise things don't get better. It's like, hey, you know what? Everything can improve, like, in every situation. Yeah. So you have to be open with that and do those things. So
it's one of those things where we're G.I. Joe fans, so we can shit on the stuff that we don't like. But if you're outside G.I. Joe and you're shitting on that stuff, no, we'll defend it, even if it's the crappy stuff.
Well, it's like people, it's like when with, like, for instance, like, I think the Kenobi show. It's like people were like, "Oh, this sucks. It's not Star Wars." I'm like, exactly. It's not. This is not Star Wars. You, like, some people who will want to like it, you're liking it because it puts the name Star Wars on it. Well, if I take a shit and put the name Star Wars on, are you gonna like that too? It's like you have to understand what Star Wars means. You have to understand what Star Trek means. It has a soul. And there's a soul to Star Trek. There's a soul to G.I. Joe. When you start dividing, you start diverging from what it is, you're no longer really G.I. Joe. You can put the name on it, but it doesn't, like, G.I. Joe Extreme is not G.I. Joe. You can put the name on it, but it's not G.I. Joe. So, you know, to me, that's a sign you don't really like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, I don't know, whatever.
There's people that claim to be Star Wars fans, and they'll tell you the only thing that they really like is Empire Strikes Back. You're not Star Wars fans. You're a fan of that movie.
You just like movies. Yes, that's different.
You know, if
like
you're
me,
if
I
you're
like
a G.I.
jazz.
Joe
I like
fan,
Miles Davis. I don't like jazz. I only like Miles Davis. So
if you're a G.I. Joe fan and the only person you like is Snake Eyes, then you're not a G.I. Joe fan.
Yeah. Miles Davis. I'm like a mild Star Trek fan. I don't, you know, like, whatever. Okay, so that's.
But you shouldn't block people just because they like something.
I don't care about that. I hope we were joking. Anyway, let's go to the next, because I also Operative D is like my friend here, you know.
All right.
This was yours, YoJoe.
Yeah, so for me, there's Grand Slam, but for me, whenever I saw this, I always thought that was Flash when I was a kid, so I always put him on there. But Grand Slam, I'd love red shirt Grand Slam. Give me, I mean, I'd love to have a HAL, but I'll gladly take a jump jetpack like that little thing together. Though I've got a really nice jump jetpack that I got from Etsy. Someone like 3D printed, was really good. But I'd love to have a Grand Slam for another OG-13. I'll take silver if I have to for, like, not quite OG-13, but good enough. So
they already have the helmet. They already have the jetpack.
Oh yeah.
So
that's the thing. When I saw the jetpack years ago, I'm like, oh, it's got to be coming any day now.
We're at number 5, I believe. Okay, loving YoJoe Reviews, daily reminders they need to make a flash. You can guess what his number 1 is. By the way, though, can I just call out YoJoe Reviews made a video where his wife names all the G.I. Joes. If you haven't watched that video, you need to watch it.
Nice.
Very good video.
Now, wait.
Very
did you have
funny.
Cue cards for her, or did she have him on her own?
Oh, I just gave her the thing. She's like, Roblox. She's like, Randy. And then what actually what was pretty funny when I gave her Serpentor on the air chariot, and she's like, I was like, oh, it's like a ruler. She's like Caesar and his hydrofoil. I'm like, oh, there was a hydrofoil. Look at close. She knew snake eyes. She got snake eyes every time. She's like, is this another snake eyes? I'm like, that's what I said. Yes, it is.
See,
that's what she was like. The snake eyes was way hotter. These guys are
my wife's favorite character is Scarlet, and it's mainly because when she saw her in The Rise of Cobra, she loved the way she looked. Because my wife's a redhead, so she loved her aesthetics, and so she fell in love with Scarlet. And hey, if she's going to fall in love with Scarlet, it helps me, with my GI Joe collection. So, I got to give The Rise of Cobra something, right?
Yeah.
It has nothing. Scarlet is hot. The Scarlet and the Rise of Cobra is hot. I will.
That's the one thing they did right.
That's the only thing I'm going to give it.
That Lieutenant Stone. I'll give him Lieutenant Stone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's not terrible. All right. Let's see. Grand Slam. Yeah. Why not? Why not do Grand Slam? I don't get it. No brainer. They got to do Flash and Grand Slam, the same thing. What they should do is do Flash with the jump pack and the Grand Slam with the Hal. The Hal would be great. I would love the Hal.
Or you do a 2-pack.
I think what they do is they do the Hal. They're gonna throw a steel core head like helmet on there. So that if you get it, you have other stuff you can play with.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Dreadnoughty.
Thanks. Yeah. Great video.
I would even take a 2-pack if they did it.
Yeah, totally.
Here's the thing with the 2-pack. I do like sometimes it's cool. Like I really like the Night Force 2-pack with Quick Kick and Beachhead. Like that was cool. And I can understand why they did Steeler and Short Fuse because by themselves maybe they're not enough. But I feel like Flash could stand on his own. But I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah, Flash.
Flash easy that
on his own. I think Flash should be on his own, and I think Grand Slam should come with a Hal. That would be.
But remember, they did a 2-pack of the steel core with both of them having jetpacks. They did the male and the female one.
You've got the jetpack multiple times now.
Yeah,
right.
Joe would love Ace, nice.
Yeah. Yo, here's this is RA's pick. Do you go by Rich or do you go to by RA?
I write with RA, but friends call me Rich.
All right, cool.
So what should we call you?
Asshole.
Yeah, this would be. I mean, of course, we're never going to get them any other way, so why not get them?
Look, we need the Cobra pilots are some of the best looking figures that they've ever done, and I think that an Ace
is awesome.
Decked out would be an amazing figure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, Ace is a must. I mean, that's such a good character, such a great figure.
Then
I could make a whole list. Like for me, AVAC for the Firebat is awesome. The Night Raven pilot is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you do the Night Raven, then you gotta do Raven, right? The other thing would Flash. I'm sorry, Ace was in Humanoids. He was one of the characters, and you could do his character from Humanoids, which is like a weird mech looking thing. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, totally. That'd be awesome. All right. Let's see who's next. Oh, this is my pick.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I cannot wait for this thing. I hope we get him soon. But how good would that be? Come on. He's going to
It'd be awesome.
Condor with him.
I think it would look amazing. I think it'll wind up looking like so dope.
Yeah. Because for some reason, the gold stuff, which looks kind of cheesy in the 3 3/4, looks so good in the 6-inch.
Yeah.
Like in the classified line. Like, that's going to look good.
100%.
And really, you could get away with using the Freedom mold for the Condor.
Yeah, maybe.
Just pop on a different head.
Yeah.
It should be different. They have more like the head should a little different.
The Condor should have, it should have a larger wingspan than an Eagle. But you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
If you were trying to save money to do it.
Yeah. We got to get Voltar. Yeah. I'm wondering it would be great if you could take the helmet off and maybe like underneath he's got like an eye that's missing or some shit.
or a mechanical eye.
Yeah, something cool like that, you know.
Yeah.
This is why you write the good fiction, my friend.
Yeah.
But see, this to me, Voltron is kind of like cesspool. Those are type two. Those are two figures that can stand on their own, you know, and have their own battalions, their own squads within Cobra.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
Like, you know, when Destro's off working with Cobra Commander, Voltron should be the one that's leading the Iron Grenadiers.
And Tony says target peg warmer. Now, is anything like how much, like when we really look at it though, if you look at the line, like how many things are really peg warmers? It feels like to me when they overproduce something, it's a peg warmer, but for the most part, everything sells.
The biggest peg warmers I've seen are Stalker, Retro Stalker, and Retro Cobra Commander.
They're in every store.
To be perfectly honest, the Retro Stalker does not interest me in the least because the Stalker was good.
It's so much better.
Yeah, it's just like
so much better.
That muted gray was a callback to the Pursuit of Cobra, and it just looked. And to me, it just like I don't need them to. I don't understand the impulse to have them look exactly like they did. I don't need that. I want them to be updated. I just want the character. So once you give me the character in a way that I like, I don't necessarily want to pay $30 to get the same fucking thing.
Right.
And you know, so I can toss one of them in a bin, and I'm not gonna like it as much. I didn't get same thing with the rock and roll. Well, I got the only reason I'll get the eel is because it's a troop builder. So it's like I want 2 or 3 eels.
And that's another one you can use as a squad leader.
2 stalkers, you know, what are you gonna do with them?
Yeah. Right. The only reason to get the Stalker is to have, if you're going to go with the original 13.
Yeah. I don't care about it. I'm not a displayer. I don't care about display. I care
the
about
other surprising one that says peg warmer is the Sand Viper with the Scorpion.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I think it's the price. I think it's the price point because when all the Walmarts I've gone to, once they dropped it, they went from 10 to none. We're talking in a day. They all disappear when they bring it down to that $25 price point.
Yep. And the mustard and ketchup divers were another one that was a peg warmer in some of the targets, but not as bad as the Sand Viper.
I got 3. I got 5 Sand Vipers, 3 of the divers. Is asking girl to be my peg warmer decent pickup line, but I don't think that anybody would understand that. Retro Techno Viper. You know, the Techno Viper to me is a complete fail for them because you can still get the Techno Viper on the other one, and it's
so much better.
Totally.
Would I buy one? Yeah, I wouldn't mind having 3 Techno Vipers, so I'm okay with it. But that's the only reason I'm okay with it. Like, say, I feel the same way about the Snow Serpent. It's like I would rather have 3 of the deluxe Snow Serpents, but they're so expensive and hard to find. I'll buy the retro.
Yeah,
because I want Snow Serpents.
I think I did 2 deluxe Snow Vipers or Snow Serpents and 2 of the retro. So I had 4.
Yeah,
because I usually do 4 as a squad.
Yeah, right. Because you need a squad. So I'm fine. I only have 1 Techno Viper, so maybe I'll buy one, but it doesn't excite me. And I think what everybody said, I think somebody said it. I'm sorry, I don't think I posted it, but somebody said, why didn't they do Range Viper instead? And that was a hard figure to get. It would have been so much better to do a Range Viper.
Yeah, bad boy. That's like, we need money. Put that out. It'll like a retro. I
spent
$100 on fucking Range Viper, maybe 150 on Range Vipers. I have 3 of them, but. All right, Voltar.
When time comes out, that'll be priced at 3 of them. A retro card,
right? Oh, this is Destro Designs, and I could have predicted this one because I know he loves. He loves this guy.
I do. When I was a kid, believe me, I clearly had no idea what any of the shit that he came with was because still today, 4 years later, we have no idea what it is. So, but as a kid, you're just like, oh yeah, this is obviously something that the military uses to find bombs or sort out something. But anything, no, not at all. It's all totally made up. The thing that he holds in his hand looks silly as hell, but I loved it as a kid. I've said, there's a handful of figures that don't even come with a weapon that I love. I don't know. I don't know what it is about these guys that are like specialists or whatever. But anybody that comes with like, so the backpack is connected to the thing in his hand. That's it. That's all I needed to see. Oh, and he comes with a little roving R2D2 in front of him. Yes, please give me that.
I always hated all that shit because that cord always is a pain in the ass. It always fell off.
It is a pain in the ass.
My God, yeah.
I do dislike the incredible light blue helmet. I think is a little strange. Like when I have the 3 3/4 figure and it's minty and I got it at a great price. I'm so happy with it. But when I look at the blue helmet, I go, if the blue was just something else, it would be perfect. The blue is a silly color. I know it's a hard thing to pick when there's 50 silly things about it, but yeah, man, I hope they do a deluxe. I hope they do exactly what they did for Tripwire with this guy. You know, make all his gear super cool. Give him, mute that yellow. Do something with that god awful blue helmet, and I think it'll make a fucking dope classified figure.
Give him a little droid or a robot or something.
A better one with an articulating arm.
Yep,
like
something.
Okay, this guy can't do shit. If you look at this robot, it can't do anything.
Right.
It can walk around and analyze shit. It's got no arms. It's got no anything. It just walks.
Is anyone else getting visionary vibes when they see
it.
him with his chest plate? I'm seeing visionaries right here.
Oh, it totally looks like a visionary.
Well, his the droid and his backpack have holograms on it. The droid.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
I don't like this. I hate this figure, but I would be interested in seeing what Classified would do with him because I similarly dislike Tripwire. And their Tripwire is one of the best figures they've ever made, hands down. It might be it's like top 5.
That Tripwire is so
the Night
good.
Force one any day of the week.
Yeah,
the Night Force one is way better, but his helmet is cool looking. It just doesn't look very G.I. Joe. But all right, wait, did I fuck? I feel like that's 2 of yours in a row, there, my friend.
It is.
It's all good. Everyone likes Blizzard, man.
Let me move it around. All right,
Blizzard's a good one.
Okay,
we're here. Don't make it complicated. Just let it go.
Oh, there you go. This was yours, YoJoe Reviews. This is a great pick.
Yeah, this is your big old deluxe figure of the year 2027. Just gonna call it right now. It's right there. Though I don't have confidence because how Metal had kind of turned is not as cool as I thought it could be. I just love this one. When I was a kid, this is like one of the last ones when I was like really into it. Like, this guy's so awesome. Like the mask that comes down, all the stuff, how they can do that. I mean, I think it'll pull off really well. Just what I love. What I have that like my number 4 or something like that, number 3.
What a great figure.
Yeah,
that's a great figure. Unfortunately, Heavy Duty didn't do as well as I think they wanted him to do.
I know he's a peg warmer. I still see him. Our target. That's all they have at our target.
Oh,
that's shocking to me
because it's silly looking.
Amazing figure.
Listen,
good. I love how they were consistent. How he was impossible to get into Classified, just like it was impossible to get into the freaking 3 3/4 one.
That's true.
But this one would fit just with Heavy Duty and with Heavy Metal, and that it would be that same type of box and same layout.
Yeah.
So you're talking like what, $43 for it?
Yeah.
Probably?
Right.
I think they reinvent him because he really didn't. The only thing with him is he only came with the 2 rockets. That's not very exciting. So he would need more.
Yeah.
But I think he could be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the whole costume itself, which is funny because like
it's great.
His picture is not, if you know the picture and the toy, they don't line up color scheme wise. So I think that gives them an option to make the picture one more of the Classified version, like upsell not upsell, but upscale or whatever, give him a glow up. I think that'll be cool.
He is amazing. I loved him. He was such a good figure. Even though he kind of like in theory, he shoots his 2 missiles and he's got to go home. But he just looks so good. I think I made his little controllers guns.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily.
Same here.
Oh yeah,
I still have this gun.
They look like guns, but he could. I feel like they could do a couple of things with him, and it would be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a super cool figure. I remember. I think I got him in a trade later. Like I didn't get him when he first came out, but I remember picking him up and it being fucking awesome.
Whoa. Okay. Wait. Are we this far along? Okay.
That
Wait.
was
Let me
my
go
number
back.
2 as well.
That was your number 2. So
No,
wait, I
number
think because
3.
I skipped one, right? Because I feel like I
Gotta
had
go back
2 in a
to
row that were very similar.
Blizzard. You're looking for Blizzard.
I'm looking for
That's the one we
Blizzard.
skipped over.
Uh-oh.
So he's gone now. See, they've already announced him. They're
All
like,
right.
we can't be one you want to have because he's already there.
Wait, they've announced him?
No, that was the joke because he disappeared. Yeah, some people like take.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Can't put as a 1.
Such a good pick.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing. He's so amazing. It was so much one of my favorites. That backpack. They got this is like all like my top 4 are all figures that would absolutely have to be like deluxe. And I would really like it if they took the time to try and make it so he can lay down on that backpack with grip the handles and have like have that if his backpack folded like a lawn chair. And then because if you remember when the figure grabbed onto those handles and laid down, his balls were like right on the ground. So like if that backpack folded down, and
correct.
Yeah, and give you something like that, I think it would be fucking so good. I think it would be the coolest thing.
What if you put?
I am always messing up the list, dude. I really am, but.
What if you put him with the polar bear?
I fucking love that polar bear so much.
Yeah, they like polar bear, man. They do make the best. It's funny. They make the best animals with the GI Joe line versus like if they had actual toy line that was like animals, they would not be as good as the animals they get in Joe's.
The polar battle bear. The snowmobile.
That's my favorite.
I love that as a kid. That's my face.
Because you should either put him or Snow Stalker in with the polar battle bear. Wow, I think
I love a boring character like Sub-Zero. He's boring as fuck.
You can put
Iceberg. Iceberg's so boring.
Iceberg. Iceberg would be cool because you could put him with a snow.
I love Iceberg. Watch Action
with
Figure Therapy. It's an old YouTube channel. Iceberg was hilarious in it. It's like old school YouTube, like 2000.
Oh yeah, really? Okay. Well, Iceberg, unless he comes with he becomes when he in the cartoon he becomes a killer whale. Like
I forgot about that.
No, but you could give him you could give him a snowboard and give him a glow up and he'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But either him or Blizzard with the polar battle bear would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I mean, boring. Like I think Sub-Zero is so boring, or Iceberg, because he's getting too much shit. That's the problem. I think Blizzard has to be his own.
He does.
But would Blizzard would you put him with everything that you're going to give? Jesus Christ! I just went blank. Never mind. Keep going.
I would.
He's gonna come with his original loadout is insane. He's got like that weird, assemble like ski sled on his back thing. I think they could really like amp that shit up.
It would be the best. It would be so awesome.
Yeah.
But okay, now I remember what I was going to say. Would you put the same loadout that you have with Snow Job for Blizzard?
No, he's gonna have his own thing going on. He's gonna have because his backpack assembled into that sled.
Right.
Yeah.
So you gotta have the sled, otherwise I don't want him.
So I think what you'd have to do is have like he has the skis attach on it and folds down to the plate where it plugs it in.
Right.
That'd be cool.
That way. I mean it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable.
Yeah. All right.
The magic of plastic.
Dr. Venom. Okay.
There we go. That's necessary.
I think this is yours.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Dr. Venom's a plus.
Yeah, he was on my I kind of moved him because you had him. So I figured I didn't want to double dip. But yeah, totally. He has to come with a brainwave scanner.
Oh, it has to.
My god, yeah.
Like, I don't even want him. If he doesn't come with a brainwave scanner, he's very bland looking. But if he comes with a brainwave scanner as his like pet kind of accessory, that would be an unbelievable set.
You could even do like give him like some kind of animal that he's testing the brain scanner on, or or something to give him a little bit more of a loadout. then because I know that the Marvel Legends, they've done doctors in just the jacket and very little with very little weaponry. But if you want to give him something, you could give him some other experiments to do or to have with it.
Give him a test tubes. You give him a mind. You can make it work. Because they
all you need is that brainwave.
You just have like a little stand they can put his stuff on. I mean,
you could do the brainwave scanner where it's like a little headpiece that goes on, and he actually has like a console that comes with it. That he's like a computer console that he uses to, or a chair or something.
Like,
if you really want to go
yeah.
You bring it over from the Barbie set, and
that's something I would like to see somebody make a good one in 3D printing. I haven't seen a great one.
A what?
The brainwave scanner. I haven't seen a great in the 3D
I haven't seen a good one either.
So yeah, let's get one of our guys on that here.
That's interesting.
Or something.
Yeah,
I think they would sell a lot. I don't know why nobody's done it. I've seen people do it. It always sucks though. Never looks good. Never looks like the brainwave scanner. So, but it's a no-brainer. And then he's a great character. Now, Monster Force is doing a Dr. Venom.
There's a very close Dr. Venom Monster Force, yes,
which has like an alternate head sculpt, and the alternate head sculpt is Dr. Venom. So you can buy one.
It almost looks like Norman Osborn.
Yeah. So if you want to buy one, you may be able to get one. But for me, the Monster Force problem is you never know when that shit's coming out. Like they announce it, and it's like 2 years later.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Frustrating. Did you order the?
I'm not buying any more of them. Like I got one on pre-order because I really want it. Whatever it comes, I'll be happy to have it. But I'm like, I'm not dropping any more dimes till actually something's there. I mean, it's
agreed.
I think I put my order in like last September.
Yeah. Did you buy? What was it? Was the order of the Crimson Moon or what?
Yeah, it was the one that's the white wolf that becomes the red laser from Action Force.
Yeah, so they have the whole so it's like it's never coming out. It's like
some of those they just got in because they had they were at WonderCon this year.
Yeah,
this past weekend.
I think they're coming out any minute, but it's been like a year overdue. It's like really
they had that one there where you could pick him up.
Yeah,
and some of the other ones that look like the iron, the iron, the blood. Oh, fuck, whatever that is.
Blood for the Bears.
Moon, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But they have, they have this one, then they have that one that it has a like a brain in a jar that's like his head.
Yeah, that's wild.
And his uniform looks great if you put that gold-headed Destro on it. Like you could put that.
Oh yeah.
Your Iron Commander.
There's a lot of good shit that really works. War Chest Full of Toys is here. Hello, we were talking about you earlier there. In code. We were talking about you in code. All right.
But Dr. Venom seems like one that they're going to make, down the road.
Do you think they will? I don't know why. It doesn't feel like they make a lot of the comic book stuff. They just made Dawn finally, which is great, but I don't understand why they
they're jumping outside the box every once in a while. I think that he's one of those ones where he's popular enough where he'll sell and people
really
identify him.
Yeah. I don't think they realize how well the comic
be the double, like the Hydro Viper's the double when you get the box of 6. He'll be just a single.
Right. Now, what is Monster Force? Monster Force is a 6-inch line it fits very well with G.I. Joe, classified, and it's made by Big Bad Toy Stores, and their which is Fresh Monkey Fiction is their like arm that makes figures, and they're about $40, a little more pricier. Destro Designs buys them. I've been really eyeing them. I've been thinking about buying them. They look amazing. They have a lot of deep cut G.I. Joe shit. Like for instance, if you know in the comic book, there's the issue where they got it's like a skeleton wearing a red hood,
right?
Machine gun. They made that figure. That's like their next major enemy, and he looks great. So that's what it is.
Fantastic in 2030.
This is my pick for which would be, of course, they got to make Globulus. How can they not make him? At this point, he's the only one left. So I imagine they're going to make Globulus, and I can't imagine what that thing would look like. It would be insane.
I want to know
Do
how
you think
to get it. They're gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to weight his tail or whatever the snake part.
Right,
You have to weight it so he can stand up, because otherwise he's just gonna tip over.
You'll have
That's
to.
one of the things. They're like the scale, like you gotta have something.
Well, no, they've there's a company that is like the Big Bad Toy Stores that did a Medusa that stands up, and there was a
Mythic Legions has a few.
Legions does, yes,
snake figures.
Yes, and then there somebody put out a actual snake that was available at Target that a lot of people have used the body for to make a 3D printed Globulus, and he stands up perfectly. So it can be done. It just the question is this going to be a con exclusive or is it going to be a mainline?
It feels like it's got to be if you do the big round ball, maybe it's 120.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be. I don't think it can be less than 100. It's definitely.
And to be honest, I think this could be one of the things that's announced on Wednesday.
Oh wow!
I agree. I agree on that.
I think this because if you think about it, all these exclusive stuffs we've had, so like the PulseCon things, the last 3 have been. You've got Pythona, you've got whatever my brain. I'm like falling asleep here. Of course, you got Once a Man, Cobra Commander. These are all those things. It just fits with their kind of like traditional fall exclusive kind of thing. So that's when I think, at least that's when I think it'll be for sale. So maybe it'll be announced earlier, but that's where I can see that.
We probably will get if we get anything on Wednesday, we'll get a rendering, and then Comic-Con will get a first look, and then it'll be this fall if we get it.
Yeah. Because it was at Python. It was at New York Comic-Con that Pythona came out. I can't remember. No, you could buy her. You could buy her then, but then there was another con where they had her out, and people were like, "Oh my god."
They showed her at SDCC, and then at New York she was available because they didn't do PulseCon last year, and she was originally supposed to be PulseCon.
That's right.
Yeah,
that is
true. You better
be
able to stand easily. Dip Dog says, "Yeah, I think, like I said, Mythic Legions makes a few snake characters. They've made a few of them, I think, and they stand pretty well from what I understand. So." I think you can do it. You definitely can do it. He'll definitely be better than what we got as a kid. He sucked as a kid.
He was
horrible.
Was just like that rubber plastic and then a wire in the middle of it.
Yeah, it didn't bend. That was the thing about it. It didn't, like, you wanted to bend, but it didn't. So it was just like this fucking weird.
Even to this day, when I see him at shops, and I'm like, I'll pick him up. I'm like, I should get him. I'm like, no, I can't.
He sucks. I have him. He sucks. And he also breaks a lot in the waist.
Yeah.
Once that breaks,
I was always a big.
Who cares? Like
when I was a kid, I was a fan of. I loved Greek mythology. So when Globulus came out,
the Titans, man.
I love seeing Globulus was like so cool to me. So I've never had that thing where I know people. There's a lot of people that hate the Cobra Law thing. I liked it because I loved Greek mythology, and this fit right into it.
Yeah, Boss Fight Studios did the Medusa. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what it was. It was Boss Fight. Yes, Boss good. Fight has a lot of really good figures.
Yeah. Wait, did they do the Gold Hilder? Was that Boss Fight?
I don't remember. I know that they did. They did a lot of. They did Roman soldiers. They did Greek soldiers. Right. They did the. They did those really cool looking skeleton soldiers.
They did Garfield Halloween special action figures.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Out here a little bit.
All right, we're out to our last couple.
I may have pre-ordered that. I'm just saying. I may have pre-ordered that.
We're on to our last few, and Destro Designs has picked Salvo. This is Salvo.
Good call.
Now, so I'm all for everybody getting an opportunity to do the things that they love in life, but Salvo to me is a tall, beefy man that holds a 5-banger rocket launcher and a line shooter or a mine shooter.
Yeah,
named West
I'm trolling.
That's a good one though. That's funny.
I also wait. So where's Salvo? Here we go. Was it? Oh, this is Salvo. Trolling. I'm trolling everybody. Yeah, this is Salvo. So if anybody's aware, IDW.
I don't even know how I'm going to balance that bad boy. He's just going to fall half over every time.
IDW.
So have a base for him, and he's still going to fall over.
Well, how they have that is it's the only way. So if you see, he's got the mine launcher way out, cantilevered, counterweighting the thing. It's the only way you can get it to work. Whenever I take pictures of him, that's exactly how you have to have it. It's crazy. But I did score a figure that this, he came a little later. There's some of my all-time favorites came later, in the years that I was going back looking through just today, and I was like, I think I was confusing 87 and 89. Like Mark, when we were talking last week and we were like, 85, 86. And I always kept saying, well, 87 is a little underrated. I was confusing it. There are bangers in 80.
Really underrated, actually.
For sure.
I think 87 might be my favorite year.
It
might be my favorite year, actually. I think it's either 85 or 87. I really love 87. But
87 was a good year for figures.
Good year.
For sure.
It's a weird year. It's the weird year. But but Salvo is an all-time great to me.
He's totally awesome. You know what? I should have worn my Salvo.
Did he play a big part in the Dick cartoons towards the end?
He did. He did.
I have not watched the Deke cartoons because it sucks so bad. I've only seen a few of them.
It is pretty rough.
They're rough.
No. Listen, I don't watch it. I have.
You feel moron. You feel like an idiot when you watch that shit.
Well, it's because it's almost like so goofy that you expect a laugh track to play any second, right? It's like. The little xylophone sounds and all this weird shit. It's just, it was really the voice. It was campy. The voices were terrible. Everything about it was awful.
Everything
animation sucked.
Look, just thinking about the color palette hurts my head.
Yes. The animation sucks.
I mean,
the animation is before. I can't watch. It was like a bad PSA. Like somebody made it in their animation.
Well,
Destro with Zarana, and then at one point the only way that Baroness was going to come back to Cobra was if he dumped Zarana and he throws her out a window or something.
No, he pushes a button and the windowsill Zarana is on opens up and she falls down in it. He's had that. That's his bitch remover. He's had that.
She's like the only dreadnought left in the show at that point.
It's so nuts.
I get offended. I get very offended when any suggestion is made that Destro is with anybody other than the Baroness, and when Snake Eyes is suggested as being with anybody other than Scarlet, very upsetting to me.
Stop being cute. Make it how we want it.
They had done this great thing with Zarana and Mainframe and have this torn love affair and everything, and then you do this, and you're like, no, come on, people, just stop.
Just
you really remember the term "jump the shark"? They completely junked the whale at that point.
Now, I can get away with watching Operation Dragonfire. It's the very first episode of DIC. It's immediately after the movie. It's where Cobra Commander comes back, gets the battle armor. It's the birth of Python Patrol. First time you see an Alley Viper. You got Stalker version 2 in there. There is a bunch of cool characters. The beginning song. The beginning. Right. The beginning song sounds just like the regular song.
We were like 8 years old when it came out. It was fucking terrible.
It is. No, I watched it recently. It's better than the rest of DIC, but it's still not good. Right. That's, I guess, the best way to say it.
Anyway, Salvo's an amazing. So unfortunately, I would say, if you watch the cartoon, IDW was terrible with this shit. It was like I don't care that much. It's not that big of a deal for me, but I feel like if you want to make a Samoan woman character, make her.
Just make her. Yeah. Right.
Why is it gotta be Salvo? I'm not against that. So it's not that I'd be fine with it. You got a big Samoan woman.
And I feel like it takes away if you're trying to if you're trying to celebrate a different type of person, then let that person stand on their own merits instead of like saying, well, you're not even good enough to have your own character. So we're going to let you try to be good off the backs of this other figure to make sure people like it. I think it's silly. I think if they made a Samoan woman character who carried a big rocket launcher and shit, I would love it. I'd be like, look at that. That is pretty cool.
Yes, it's a cool idea. Don't call it.
When Dixon took over IDW Comics from Mike Costa. Costa's run was great when he did Cobra and he did G.I. Joe.
Well, Dixon didn't do that. That was this Aubrey Citizen asshole.
Oh, that was after Dixon.
Yeah.
That's
Dixon's good.
Dixon's run.
all right.
Dixon has some really good stuff.
He's not bad at all.
When they started getting to the end of it, it got kind of like the Dick cartoons a little bit. You know, it jumped that.
Well, they changed the writer a lot, and the writers, and they changed. It was like a different universe every 12 issues.
Yeah, so it doesn't really feel like it was a continuation. It seems like Elseworlds on DC. You're like, oh, it's just a different.
Because the Dixon stuff's fine. It's pretty good.
They lost their editor. He left. You know, the editor left, and they had a whole lot of change going above. Because I remember when this happened. Because a friend of mine used to talk to them. He worked at a comic book shop, and he was talking to him all the time because he's a major G.I. Joe fan, and he was talking to him. They were like, yeah, they lost their head editor. They lost their editor in chief. And there were so many changes at the top of it that they just didn't know where they were going. They lost their direction.
Well, if you read the Revolution shit, they're like they're like the IDW produced some good stuff. The Cobra series is amazing. The Chuck Dixon stuff was good.
The Cobra Civil War was great.
Hama stuff was all good. Yeah, they produced some of the worst shit ever created for G.I. Joe. They did it to every. The Revolution series is one of the dumbest things you'll ever read in your life. It's got Mask and Visionaries and ROM and G.I. Joe and you will feel like you have lost brain cells watching this.
Yeah. Well, remember when
thank you, Antonio, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You remember when they branched off to two different teams of G.I. Joe, and it got so convoluted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bad. And Aubrey Citizen is like one of the worst people in comic history. And he wrote a bunch of it, and it was really bad. He was like he ended up getting canceled for saying something about like 9/11, where he's like, I was there 9/11, I'm cooler than you. You know, I was like,
oh god,
he's a jack off, and he's probably the worst writer to ever write for G.I. Joe. Anyway, let's get back to the figures. We were on our last couple, and I think this is yours, RA, right? Great
Colton,
pick. Great pick, Joe Colton. Which version? Now, there's many versions of Joel Colton. This is from the comic book, which
at this point I would take any. If you want to give me Action Force Joe Colton, if you want to give me General Joe Colton in his dress greens, give me that. I mean, I just wanted a Joe Colton.
Yeah. I want the OG Joe Colton fighting Snake. You know, that would be cool. But there's
Big Bad Toys is doing one that looks just like him with the snake. If you take the head off of their general that they made, their army general, you can make the Action Force Joe Colton.
I won't use it to buy drugs. I may use it to buy bourbon, but not drugs. Yeah, that would be great, and I think we will definitely get a Joe Colton.
We have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
Honestly, what I'm surprised is that they didn't do for the 250th anniversary, instead of doing the red, white, and blue Duke, give us a Joe Colton.
Right. I still think they should have gave us one of these for the retro.
Maybe for the 50th anniversary of the Real American Hero line, they'll give us because that's not too far off.
War Chest Full of Toys says, to my knowledge, Heart Wrencher should be coming with the trike. They're doing
what's up.
Road Pig buck. Interesting. Okay. The neon. I hope they don't. I don't.
You know
want
they have to have some more
version.
big guys coming with that. That's a whole big old.
That is. I don't want the neon version of Road Pig. No, please no.
If you gave me a heart wrencher with a Harley Davidson style bike, I would probably buy multiple just so I could get the extra bikes for my other.
I've been arguing that for a very long time. Yes, why not do that shit?
Seems crazy that they hadn't.
Totally agree though. Love the Joel Colton idea. Let's go to the next one. And no, I went to that one. All right, where am I going? Oh, imagine who this would be for.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shocking. I know, Michael, you're like, what? How could this be?
How is it? Yeah. What? No way.
Flash is my number one. Gotta have him. Want him any version. Well, actually, I want this version. I'll take him in straight arms and no articulation. Don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Just want him. All I know is I've been taking my little Flash around the world lately, and I'm waiting for if they make an announcement on Monday or on Wednesday. So I've got my daily thing for like free Flash that I put up every day on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all this stuff. I've got all these new ones filmed. Like, if they announce it, then it's like, oh, I have all these vacation stuff he's on. But then if they don't film it, then I've got like, oh, I'm drowning myself. So I'm like, need to find out what they say, and then I could go from there because
I can totally see him announced on Wednesday.
I would not be surprised.
It's
I haven't heard though. I will say it's not it's not in the leaks.
Now here's the question: would you want him on a retro card back, or would you want him in a classified, more of a classified version?
I would love the retro card version because I know it's going to be a great thing, but they're not going to. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to come out with a classified, updated one that's out there, and then the retro card will be like in 2028.
Yeah.
Here's my thought on that,
which I'm cool with.
Sounds right.
What?
He's the only of the original 13. He's the only one who doesn't need the retro because I'm sorry, who doesn't need
mainline.
Well, he is perfect as created.
Right.
He is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out with the Zap. That was the most boring. Like he needed a classified. I don't like.
He needed the rock and roll treatment.
Yes. Should have had the rock and roll treatment. The same thing. Like, well, it's like that new grunt. It sucks so bad. It's like that other grunt really served the purpose. There's no like I don't know who these people are who need the OG 13 enough to be like that other grunt wasn't good enough for me. It was like that was basically the same figure, but like made interesting because the one they made sucked. He's so uninteresting. Same thing with
but you see on so many groups and things like that where people are just they want the original version and not a classified update.
Yeah.
Right.
And those are the ones that will stop when the OG 13's up. But they're not buying the other stuff anay. So it doesn't really matter. So it's almost like, hey, you got your green shirts. Now buzz off and let us evolve.
Well, Lenny and Tony both have said that the reason that they're doing classified is not to reprint a Real American Hero. They want to do an updated version of those figures. And they only went back to do the retros because there were people that were asking for those.
Right.
But I've gotten both, but I prefer the classified. I love the updated looks on them. There's certain now there are certain characters that I like having the retro look to, Flint, Duke, things like that. But I like Stalker. We were just talking about him earlier. That new Stalker is amazing. It beats that old Stalker to death.
Yeah.
And the rock and roll, you can't even compare the classified rock and roll to retro.
They're so right. But they're close. The thing is, they're close enough. You don't need a new. All right, wait. Melted Conversation, Disma there is super chat. Don't you like money? I read it. I think I read all the super chats. Did I not?
Yeah, you put it.
I didn't.
Oh shit.
Okay. I think I don't. So, but to me, he's the one figure out of the first line who's interesting enough to not, other than Snake Eyes, to not need a glow up. Well, Snake Eyes Scarlet, I would say. He doesn't need to be reinvented. He's so cool as is.
Yep. I'd argue maybe Snake Eyes too, or Storm Shadow too. But yeah, I agree.
Wait, no, I mean from the first run.
Oh, okay.
Like the original 13, you know.
Well, that's why my boy Shockwave, they didn't do it.
I don't think they've made a good Storm Shadow yet. I don't like the Storm Shadows they've made.
Dude, listen, I thought
you don't like the little cut off shoulders.
No, I think he's the best figure ever made. He's like one of the best figures ever made.
Yeah.
And they've never done him justice.
Honestly, one of the best Storm Shadow figures is the one from the Snake Eyes Origins movie.
Actually,
I love that one. I actually
if they just would have made it like because all I know is the Snake Eyes Origin one is actually a decent figure, right? But like the dirty, it's like dirty clothes, like white, like because it's not white like the bright white that you get the cartoon kind of stuff. It's the this is like it's almost like I've got cream colored stuff, not white outfit. Like that's the only thing about that. Otherwise, it's a nice figure. You can build you can build stuff with them quite easily.
Yeah, I agree with Mark on this. I don't know why. The version 2, I thought back then, I never owned it, but like looking at the card art, and I remember thinking that it was one of the coolest looking figures, the version 2 with the color. And for some reason, when I look, I don't even have the classified one. When I look at it, I go, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't jump out.
That classified the V2 is not like I want. Like when I heard it was coming, I was like, yes. Then when it came out, I'm like, it's like something's off. It's like when you get something from Temu and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
But it does not satisfy the itch. Does not scratch the itch.
I mean, that was I remember when that one came out, that was one of those first ones people were like, oh, they're just doing this and they'll make it right for the retro line eventually. Like that's when I was like, that's not a good way to do it, but something. Ooh, who's this one? Ambush. Who's got this one?
There we go. We know.
That's Destro Designs all the way.
I had no idea, Michael.
So I just recently got a deal on the 3 3/4 figure. It's got the intact tent poles, the backpack, both weapons, like the dart gun and the rifle, and he also has the tent mesh and the mesh that you pull over his head. It's all intact. Now, I've always held this in such high regard. I always thought about it and was like, yes, I want it as a classified, everything. But I always had my top 4 wanted for classifieds. We're always kind of tied for first, right? You could put it in any order. And then when I got that ambush the other day, I sat here. I opened a box right here. I sat here and played with that fucking thing for almost an hour. No other figures. I just kept putting them in the tent, folding the tent, and I was transported back to actually how much I was obsessed with that. It is like back then. I just remember thinking like the way he would conceal himself. And for some reason, obviously I was a kid who loved to hide and climb trees and build a little fort. So it was like a combination of a whole bunch of different things that I loved as a kid. Now there's like a G.I. Joe guy doing this shit. And again, gear is always cool, and here he is with all this stuff. I don't know, man. I absolutely loved it. I mean, listen. When I hold that mesh, I can't believe that it's lasted as long as it has and hasn't deteriorated yet. But it's legit the OG mesh, and I just immediately was like, "Oh my god, yes, no, this is clearly my number 1 most wanted for sure." It went from, like I said, tied right around with a few of the other ones, and just boop, right off into the sky. And I think if they do it right, I think it can wind up being one of the best classifieds. Now, something
you
interesting.
have most of his loadout, anyways. I mean, you have the ghillie net from the shooter and from the 60th anniversary. You have the sniper rifle from Low Light. The backpack, you can use from several different people. Most of his body you can use. You can reuse.
It's Ricardo.
Do something really weird with that tent. Like I would like to see them reinvent that tent. Creator.
Well, I mean, we've got the bivouac. We got the bivouac coming. Maybe they can use some of those poles with some soft goods to make something where he can post up on a person. So I feel. Oh, and I don't know if I heard this. Somebody else may have heard this as well. That there was a time when they were considering him as a HasLab figure, meaning like they might have just made him as a HasLab so they can give him some incredibly stuff. Like I guess there was a lot of talk, even if it was almost like how you do.
He's a deluxe to me. You do a deluxe, you make him. I don't mind a deluxe. I don't really
No,
care.
no.
If you're gonna give me a lot
You
of
can
shit,
put it-
I'll pay $40.
Yeah.
You can put him in a deluxe just like you did the 60th stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it would be.
That's what I'm saying. Give me. Listen, I don't care if they invented a new one that was like deluxe plus and it was $55. Just give me the good fucking shit and take my money.
All right.
And that's the definition of a HasLab too. Just make it good. We'll take the money. We're not going to complain.
Right.
I
Exactly.
think they
Just
need
give
to
us what we want.
realize they need to move on and realize that like they got our money. Like the one thing they should really figure out is that once you get you got us on fucking like Duke in 4th of July undies and shit. You got us on everything.
The Arctic Hiss sold out at $200, so they've realized that they can sell something at that price and get away, and that big, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
100%.
He's one that if they don't glow him up, I'm not interested. I think they need to make him really interesting.
Absolutely. Almost. So I would say all 4 of my top 4 picks: Ambush, Salvo, Blizzard, Lightfoot. They all have to be deluxe, or it's going to be underwhelming.
All right.
Well,
now we get
Snow Job wasn't a deluxe, and he sold really well.
I did not get him.
Snow Job was a deluxe.
He was.
This is my
Yeah.
scoop. Yes, here we go. Number 1.
There you go. I 100%. I love this figure.
Yep.
I loved this guy.
I know people absolutely hated him in Dragonfire. I love this figure.
Well, they definitely made him.
Dragonfire is irrelevant.
They made him a whiny bitch in Operation Dragonfire. 100%.
Everybody sucks in Operation. Everything in Operation Dragonfire sucks.
Since World War II, there have been journalists embedded in the military.
Nice. Very
Scoop
cool.
is no different.
He had an arc in the G.I. Joe Cobra series too.
Yes. This figure needs to be made, and you can give him a glow up, but I mean, I still love his original design.
That sculpt is I can remember as a kid looking at that card art, and basically in my mind it's like if you can just imagine that thing he has as a weapon, it's one of the coolest looking G.I. Joes. It's just that he's a camera guy that I think a lot of it gets lost. I think that sculpt is ridiculously cool. I think the colors are awesome. I think it's a knockout choice.
I love that storytelling there. I'm sorry, what's that?
Mm-hmm. You show that full screen, the whole thing.
Yeah. I just love the storytelling of him. The idea that he's like sitting there, documenting everything.
So cool. That's crazy cool.
Hey, Mark, Destro. Yeah. How you said you wanted the Cobra twins in suits? Do a Hector Ramirez.
Oh,
and
you could
reuse that mold and just you could use that suit over and over again. But I just happened to think of that looking at Scoop, but because they're both one's in front of the camera and one's behind the camera. But Scoop is he's such a cool character, and even in Dragonfire, he had an interesting story. I mean, it wasn't much different than what Dusty went through when his quote unquote traitor.
Except for that it was written not by mentally challenged people,
right? But it's an interesting take within the G.I. Joe verse to have this character there, and it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's some things they might eventually go into is like, hey, here are the things that make sense to kind of keep things going. Like, who else would work in here? Like Sniper. Another Sniper that was in there. They had something like there's a little thing with that. The one panel where the Sniper was hidden. Like those little things, they find those because that's one of those like. They give you the Easter egg kind of stuff. It's like, hey, you care. You see these things, you bring it here. I appreciate that.
Right. There's a lot of figures left to do for sure. If you just go to YouTube, pull up and look, you can start writing down all the ones you want. The list is like this, right off the bat, and that's trying to be slightly picky.
There's so many we haven't even addressed tonight. I mean, Zanza. Now that you've done Destro with his I forget what they call it. The little. Yeah, thank you.
They can also create
bar.
Yeah, they can also create more. There's like 5 or 6 more Dreadnoks. Maybe actually there's like a dozen more Dreadnoks.
There's
done
so many more
good job.
Yeah,
they've created so many good new figures. Like for me, like Wolf Spider is one of my favorite. That's new. The Grim Vipers are new. Like they've done a good like 25. They've come up with some really cool new stuff. I'm like, yeah, keep throwing those out every so often too. It's like, hey,
Mark, that's an excellent point. I feel like the ones you just named are home run figures. Wolf Spider is legit.
I know you got them.
Is my number one. That was I actually just got my 5th one because they're expensive and hard to, Yeah. I got lucky.
Backblast. Nobody picked Backblast, but I fucking love Backblast.
No, Backblast is good.
Backblast is so good.
Really
I
good.
think I really would like a true rock and roll version too, just to get those guns, which are crazy. You know what I mean? I'd take that. I'd take that in a heartbeat. For sure.
But then we could get you could get ones that are have the really dumb code names like Skidmark and Crankcase and
Every time someone puts that in the comments, I always think they're joking.
Right.
Look,
I mean,
Skidmark's name is so bad, I had to go back and add him into my book.
Right.
When Jerica Benton is talking to Duke about really bad code names for G.I. Joes, and she mentions Bombshell and Skidmark, and she mentions that one as that as Cyrus, as poor Cyrus, he just needs to hang himself or be hit by a helicopter falling out of the air, which is actually how he dies in the comics. But it's just there's some names that are just so bad.
Dude, you should do it. They should do a 2-pack of Skidmark and Backblast because Skidmark makes Backblast sound so suspect.
All right, so we've made it through the whole list. Actually, I think
just under 3 hours, new record.
The only
Snoop is number one. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the only one left, I think, is because we hit those was everybody's number 2 except for mine, I believe. Am I correct on that? Does that sound correct? The number 1 is, of course. I'm sorry, we hit the number 1s for a few of you.
Yes. Flash.
And except for which we could very much predict is Flash. Yeah, 100%. Wait, where did I have Flash here?
We got Flash already. We showed him. We talked about him.
We showed him? Okay. Did we show Flash?
We had a whole discussion about it.
Oh, it's all right. So my number 1 here is the only one left. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, we're done. All right. And that would be Quinn.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yes. I didn't even put him on my list because I figured everybody else would have him.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
he's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Whenever I ask around about this or I bring it up, say on my podcast or on the timeline, I think it's probably the most talked about. You know what I mean? Like I think obviously Flash gets brought up a lot because a lot of people are waiting for that, and you hear a bunch of different random things, or a lot of ones like now that Hit and Run and like Lifeline are made, those were ones that you heard all the time. But Quinn seems to come up all the time. It's a beloved character, and it would really, I think, just be awesome. I mean, how fucking dope would it be if they gave us that Snake Eyes with the weasel skulls and a Quinn with the weasel skulls? Like,
I was just going to say that there's another accessory that you can just reuse the mold for,
right?
And they love being able to do that.
And I think with Quinn, because like on my channel, like people bring him up all the time, but it's like he is the secret character that's not really secret. So you could actually you could mainline him because he can stand on his own because he's known well enough in the background for people. They're like, yeah, I picked that up.
Agreed.
Instead of having to be added with something or whatever, I think he's got enough.
Quinn
not
is
in
one of those characters,
or the cartoons, something like that. So I think it'd be great.
I was just gonna say Quinn is one of those characters that was not in the cartoon, but is like, Mara Jade in Star Wars. She's like this character that was never in the movies or in anything really, but she is one of the most beloved characters that the fans have. Quinn is right there with her.
I bet he's so popular. It's almost like people have the Mandela effect. Like, wait, wasn't he in there? I thought he was in there.
Exactly.
I also feel like the fans. I mean, with the fucking
blind old man
dinosaur sold out.
Right.
Completely invented character that nobody knows about.
It's pretty interesting. I forgot that was new.
That's just it. There's a lot of people that will think he's a brand new original character.
Right. Right. Well,
if he's cool, they don't care if he's an old character or not. They're just gonna buy him.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people bring up to the blind man from the Mass Device that finds Snake Eyes. He's got the sled and the dogs.
Yeah.
Now that would be incredible. And I think they did make a 3 3/4 one, right?
Yeah, Super 7 has one.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think personally, I think that would be incredible. I would 100% pick that up. So I have all the Mass Devices. I have them open, but then I have them all in the box. You know, the Snake Eyes, the Polar Bear, the Breaker, and the Divers. So because I wanted to have put the carded collection up on the wall, so all 3 of them. But if they ever came out with that, I would, you know, what kind of a Dio scene I would make with Snake Eyes laying, you know, in the snow and make it look. It would be like a permanent display where all that would be in there. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Another one people really want is the old Snake from Transformers.
Oh,
where it's Cobra
so
Commander in
cool.
the trench coat and the hat.
That would be. I think that's one that would be like, hey, we've got a con exclusive. Like that's the ones. Like if you're going to the con, you're gonna get it. Like
yeah.
That's what that's a special one. Like that's like, I mean, that's one that you could literally put out and people like, dudes, if I have my shelf, like it's like I display in my office, and so if guys come over, like they'll hop in, like, oh man, but that's when they like, you know, they'd be like, oh crap, I remember that one episode that was in. You're like, well, actually, it was another thing of Transformers. We won't talk about that, but you know, it's like that's one of those ones that people are like, oh yeah.
If you did that as a con exclusive with a Starscream, it would be that you're done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Absolutely. I like the way that sounds.
Quinn, my God, that figure, it's got to be coming at some point.
Hope so.
And I hope it's a deluxe figure. I hope they give him just an amazing loadout and just, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what you can do because there's no preset thing of what his loadout is.
Right.
You know, so you could literally do. I mean, this picture shows up most of the time. People show it, right?
Heavy gun.
Like everything else, he's just kind of talking. So you literally could create your own little thing that goes with them.
Yep.
The figure they made for Retaliation was great. It came with tons of shit. It was really fun. You know,
I think that was like one of the first figures of that line I got. And as soon as I saw
I had to buy that, sold me on the line. I was like,
yep,
they finally made this guy. I have to have this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know what would be even better is put the figure out with his first edition of the comic, his first appearance.
Damn, they did load him out. Dang.
Yeah, he came with everything. He came with all kinds of like Eskimo weapons and shit. Or
he's got like
Inuit weapons,
harpoon, machine gun. I mean, dang, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
All right, well, we made it
that's
through.
Got to be the number one.
Yeah. That's my number one anyway. Anything you want to throw out there? We'll call it a night. Otherwise,
dude, you hit almost everybody on my list.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would pretty much get everything that you all put out there. I mean, I'd buy them all.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was starting to put a lot of them that are deep dives on my list, and then I went back and watched your deep dive one to see, and nearly everybody I had on my list, you hit on your deep dive.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just and that's what's nice about
on your list.
That's not what's nice about the classified line is they are hitting some of these deep dives, and then they're giving us new stuff like the Dyer stuff, and you know, and it seems like they're listening to what the fans want.
Yeah, they really do seem to listen to it. I mean, I think they do listen to YouTube, and I don't know if they listen to me, but they listen to YouTube channels. Maybe.
Well, I do know that Tony and Lenny both said they get on the groups sometimes, like on Facebook groups and on Instagram and things like that, and they see what people are wanting and what people are making with 3D printing and you know even the Monster Force and all that stuff. That they're aware of it, and they're trying to do what they can, and they've literally said if they could do it, they would do everything that there is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Worms. Oh, the worms are great. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's the cool thing with both Tony and Lenny is they're fans. They're not just designers, they're fans.
Yeah, and you can tell like what I like is that Hasbro, since they own the license for it, they own G.I. Joe, you can do more and they can have them be so much better. Because like let's be honest, you put a Joe next to a Marvel Legend. My son is 19. When I started like a few years ago, he was looking at my collection, like, man, I wish they had this. This is like because he had all the Marvel Legends stuff. He's like, this stuff is way better than the things I had as a kid. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
It's not even comparison.
Thanks, Dreadnought E. 3 hours, brother. What a great night. Yeah, we've who's dropping the super chat? Here we go.
Thanks, Alice. Appreciate it, brother.
Look at the Joes in the Black and the Star Wars Black series. They're the same price, but with a lot of the Star Wars, you get like a lightsaber or a blaster or something because they're paying for the license, as well as producing the figure.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Joes, we're getting
those lightsabers.
We're getting completely
they break as shit. They
always fall out of the hands of my guys.
Yeah. So
all right, well, it's been fun, man. Thanks again for the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have all
nice
you. Yeah.
All right, or asshole, or whichever one you prefer to be called. You said all three.
I'm sure we'll be on next week to talk about what came out Wednesday. That'll probably be the topic because it's going to be a big.
Hey, I hope you're right. I hope it's Flash. I'll be very happy.
Yeah. Well,
hell yeah.
Hopefully, it's better than the last drop because that drop of Techno Viper Grunt and.
Well, I wonder if they drop those because they're like, this is pretty lame. Let's throw this out on a Friday when no one's paying attention.
That's kind of a filler.
I feel like they should have like separated those 3 figures over 3 different waves, right? Like give us the Techno Viper with 2 bangers, right?
Well, and especially when you look at the first wave we got at the beginning of the year, how no offense, that Lifeline wave is just blah. It's kind of like the next wave is it's okay, but it's like sometimes it's like it was such an underwhelming wave. There was no like really like, hey, this is like, oh my god. At least
2025 was filled with an insane amount of
they were like that was like banger after banger after banger. So
every wave was like, holy shit, I'm getting multiples of all of these.
Yeah. And that's just because you like to get 90 of everything.
Yeah,
it's true. That's true. It's hard for me to properly assess it and use that in an analogy because it doesn't really apply to most
they gave Lifeline was so. I was so disappointed with it. There's no color in that.
Yeah.
Inside the case,
know. It's like, how do you get the red wrong? It's like
the hose doesn't go into the fucking case. Like how do you?
I went back and painted everything inside the case, and there's so much detail in there that you miss because it's just black.
Yes, it's true.
All right. I think we got to call it a night on this one comment. Good night, assholes.
Thanks, guys.
Kind of thumbs up for me.
So thanks to everybody in the chat for everything and all the love. Y'all be good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Hey,
Thank you for joining me. I will say at
the very end, I apologize. I know I said that Protocol G.I. Joe was going up for pre-order last week on Monday night. There was a mix-up with the company that I am printing with. I've talked to them. It will be up. No more pre-order. It'll be up for sale on Wednesday, on April 1st.
Okay.
Nice. So, awesome.
Yes, well, that's the one thing we should do before we leave. If you have anything you want to like tell everybody about, it's coming up.
Destro Designs, Viper Den Studios. I am on all socials: Facebook, Insta, Twitter, TikTok. Destro Designs for all things G.I. Joe. Viper Den Studios, mostly my finished photography. YouTube, Destro Designs. That's me live from Viper Den Studios, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I've been lucky to have some great guests, all 3 of you guys included. I have GI Customs coming on from Instagram. Also, if you've seen the amazing photography from YoJoe Collectibles, who's on Facebook and Instagram, he is awesome. I talked to him. He actually lives like 2 hours from me, and we're not doing an in-house thing, but we're currently knocking down a date. But he is very interested to come on, so that's going to be a very heavy toy photography talk for sure. And cool. I love coming here on Mondays when I can. On Tuesdays, I swing by to see the fellas at Figure Fight Club, and then you can catch the articles that I write on Serpentor's Lair every Tuesday and Friday. They drop. Just to give you a preview, the one that's dropping tomorrow is basically about the summer of '87. When Christmas '86 for me was off the fucking chain. I got everything G.I. Joe from every one of my family members, and the summer of '87 was just all out war in the backyard. And I write a whole article about the basic memories of how I used to set up the guys, how I used to use the hose to fill up this walkway and make it a river, and Savannah Port would be tucked in there. So just cool little memories like that. I had goosebumps writing it. It was pretty dope. So
nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
Nice.
I got nothing to say. Have fun. Enjoy your nights, everybody.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mel
Thanks, guys.
says, how should I have an outro? Actually, the real truth is intros and outros kill the fucking algorithm, as Walter's World will probably tell me. They're a bad idea. If you do YouTube,
don't do it. Just skip.
Is that right?
Anybody, if you're thinking about doing YouTube or do YouTube, do not do an intro. Do not do an outro.
No,
you don't want to say, "Come on, join my subscribe UTVs."
Don't tell people to subscribe. They're gonna do it anyway. You want people to watch another video. You tell them what to watch because all the YouTube cares, you get people to watch more.
Oh, thanks for the super chat. Yeah,
I'm legit writing that down.
Dude, thanks for having us.
All right, thanks.
Does anybody else have anything to promote? All right, no. All right,
no.
Great having y'all. Thanks,
later, guys. Nice to meet y'all.
All right, we'll call it a night.
Thank
you so much.
3 hours, 4 minutes. Ouch.